I wanted to just go over any sort of pronunciation issues. Bill, why don't you give me the pronunciation of your name so that I don't mess it up?
In the Forvo, it's Arcity.
Arcity. Arcity.
Arcity. Arcity?
Arcity. That's what the Forvo pronunciation dictionary said it was.
Arcity.
Well, let me hear it one more time.
I probably say it. I say it a lot. I probably end up. I haven't heard that before, so I'm probably not going to remember all the way through.
All right. Well, yeah, that is, yeah, I know. It's a challenge when we learn the way we used to be pronouncing things and
Arcity, Arcity,
yeah, with the British accent, Arcity.
Arcity.
Arcity. Yeah, but we have someone from
British Arcity.
Yeah, I just read the British accent.
Pronounced Angus. Arcity.
That's fine by me. That makes perfect sense to me.
Oh, good. We won't get into any fights with Angus.
Yeah.
I always figured a lot of names change pronunciation depending on the meter, but you know. All right. Okay. Arcity. Arcity.
Arcity.
Okay.
Arcity.
According to Forvo, the pronunciation.
I would say the friend of Theseus is actually Perithous.
Perithous?
They're missing a letter, but the standard pronunciation would be Perithous.
Well, you're the Duke, so whatever you say goes.
Yeah, I'm the boss, man. Hey, at least with Theseus. Are we doing Theseus or Theseus?
I've usually heard Theseus. People,
That's good. I'll go with that.
Okay. Cool. All righty then. I think Mary Lou, you've got it working. That's great.
Yay.
Yay. I will, okay. Oops, wrong program. All right. I thought I'd send everybody the script, but I guess I didn't attach it in the last reminder I sent. So Anton, I will send it to you right away. But I think it's 10 minutes in, so let's get going with this. And so here we are with the Instant Shakespeare Company presenting The Two Noble Kinsmen. And so my name is Paul Sugarman. I'm the founder of the Instant Shakespeare Company. I'll be reading the stage directions and other things that come up. And so I'm just going to introduce each of the actors who just introduce yourself and say what roles you're playing, and then you can stop your video and then we'll begin. I'm Paul Sugarman. Angus.
Angus Hepburn playing Theseus.
Thank you. Jackie.
I'm playing Hippolyta.
All right. Jennifer.
I am playing the jailer's daughter.
And Joey.
I'm playing the jailer.
And Simone.
Queen 1 and Woman to Amelia.
Mary Lou.
I am playing Queen 2 and Nell.
Julie.
Yeah, hi, I'm Julie Kirshner. I'm playing Amelia.
And Anton.
I'm playing the wooer.
Mark.
I'm playing Perithous and the doctor.
Thank you. And Bill.
I'm Bill Bleckenberg. I'm playing Arcity.
And David.
I'm David Palmer Brown, and I'm reading Palamon.
All righty, and here we have the things. And yeah, one of the things is after you introduce yourself, if you could just sort of stop your video, and then we will begin with this. And to turn it on and off, I'll just get things started here with the title page. The Two Noble Kinsmen, presented at the Blackfriars by the King's Majesty's servants. Okay, wait, before I get started, let's, Anton, Joey, can you stop your video?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Stop your video when you're not in the scene and put it on when it is. And Anton will get that script.
Okay, sorry about that.
Once we get started, yeah, no, it's okay. All right, the two noble kinsmen presented at the Blackfriars by the King's Majesty's servants with great applause, written by the worthies of their time, Mr. John Fletcher and Mr. William Shakespeare, Gent. Printed at London by Thomas Coates for John Waterston, and are to be sold at the Sign of the Crown in Paul's Churchyard, 1634. Prologue, flourish. New plays and maidenheads are near akin, much followed both, for both much money gin, if they stand sound and well. And a good play, whose modest scenes blush on his marriage day and shake to loose his honor, is like her that after holy tire and first night stir, yet still is modesty, and still retains more of the maid to sight than husband's pains. We pray our play may be so. For I am sure it has a noble breeder and a pure, a learned and a poet never went more famous yet, twixt Poe and Silver Trent. Chaucer of all admired, the story goes, there constant to eternity it lives. If we let fall the nobleness of this, and the first sound this child hear be a hiss, how will it shake the bones of that good man, and make him cry from underground? Oh, fan from me the witless chaffs of such a whiter that blasts my bays and my famed works makes lighter than Robin Hood? This is the fear we bring, for to say truth, it were an endless thing, and too ambitious to aspire to him. Weak as we are, and almost breathless swim in this deep water, do but you hold out your helping hands, and we shall take about, and something do to save us. You shall hear scenes, though below his art may yet appear worth 2 hours' travel, to his bones sweet sleep, content to you. If this play do not keep a little dull time from us, we perceive our losses fall so thick, we must needs leave. Flourish, the two noble kinsmen, actus primus. Enter Hymen with a torch burning, a boy in a white robe before singing and strewing flowers. After Hymen, a nymph encompassed in her tresses, bearing a wheaten garland. Then Theseus between two other nymphs with wheaten chaplets on their heads. Then Hippolyta, the bride, led by Theseus, and another holding a garland over her, her tresses likewise hanging. After her, Emilia holding up the train. And their song. Roses, their sharp spines being gone, not royal in their smells alone, but in their hue, made in pinks of color, odor faint, daisies smellless, yet most quaint, and sweet time is true. Primrose, firstborn child of Vere, merry springtime's harbinger, with her bells dim, oxlips in their cradles growing, marigolds o'er deathbeds blowing. Leg speeds trim all dear nature's children, sweet lie before bride and bridegroom's feet, blessing their sense, not an angle of the air. Birds melodious or birds fair is absent hence. The crow, the slanderous cuckoo, nor the boding raven, nor cloth he, nor chattering pie may on our bride house perch or sing, or with them any discord bring, but from it fly. Enter three queens in black, with the veil stained, with imperial crowns. The first queen falls down at the foot of Theseus. The second falls down at the foot of Hippolyta. The third before Emilia.
For pity's sake and true gentilities, hear and respect me.
For your mother's sake, and your wish your womb may thrive with fair ones, hear and respect me.
Now for the love of him whom Jove hath marked the honor of your bed, and for the sake of dear virginity, be advocate for us and our distress. This good deed shall raise you out of the book of trespasses, all you are set down there. You're muted, Theseus.
Sad lady, rise.
Stand up.
Knees to me, what woman I may steed that is dearest, to bind me to her.
What's your request? Deliver you for all.
We are three queens whose sovereigns fell before the wrath of cruel Creon, who endured the beaks of ravens, talons of the knights, and pecks of crows. In the foul fields of Thebes, he will not suffer us to burn their bones, to earn their ashes, nor to take the offense of mortal lonesomeness from the blessed eye of holy Phoebus, but infects the winds with stench of our slain lords. O pity, Duke, thou purger of the earth, draw thy fierce sword that does good tunes to the world. Give us the bones of our dead kings that we may chapel them. And of thy boundless goodness take some note. For our crowned heads we have no roof, save this which is the lions and the bears, and vault to everything.
Pray you, kneel not. I was transported with your speech and suffered your knees to wrong themselves. I have heard the fortunes of your dead lords, which gives me such lamenting as wakes my vengeance and revenge for him. King Capaneus was your lord the day that he should marry you at such a season, as now it is with me. I met your groom by Maris' altar. You were that time fair, not Juno's mantle, fairer than your tresses, nor in more bounty spread her. Your wheaten wreath was not threshed nor blasted. Fortune at you dimpled her cheek with smiles. Hercules, our kinsman, then weaker than your eyes, laid by his club. He tumbled down upon his Nunan hide and swore his sinews thawed. Oh, grief and time, fearful consumers, you will all devour.
Oh, I hope some God hath purchased mercy on your manhood, where to heal infuse power and press you forth, our undertaker.
Oh, no knees, none widow, unto the helmeted Bellona use them, and pray for me, your soldier, troubled I am.
Honor to Polita, most dreaded Amazonian that has slain the Sith Teshbar with the arm as strong as white, was near to make the male that thy sex captive, but that this thy lord, born to uphold creation in that honor, first nature styled it and shrunk thee unto the bound thou wast overflowing as once subdued. Thy force and thy affection soldierous, and equally canst poise sternness with pity, whom now I know has much more power on him than ever he had on thee, who owest his strength and his love too, who is a servant for the terror of thy speech, dear glass of ladies. Bid him that we, when whom flaming war does scorch under the shadow of his sword, may cool us. Require him advance to o'er our heads. Speak, I am a woman, key to such a woman, as any of us three weep as you fall. Plead, lend us a knee, but touch the ground not for us no longer time, that doves motion when the head's plucked off. Tell him if he eyed the blood-stained field of thy swollen, showing the sun his teeth and grinning there to the moon. What would you do?
Oh, poor lady, say no more. I had as lief trace this good action with you as that whereto I am going, and never yet when I so willingly went. My lord is taken, heart deep with your distress. Let him consider. I'll speak anon.
Oh, kneels to Amelia. Oh, my petition was set down in ice, which by hot grief uncandied melts into drops. So sorrow wanting form is pressed with deeper matter.
Hey, stand up. Your grief is written in your cheek.
Oh, woe, you cannot read it there, though through my tears like wrinkled pebbles in a glassy stream you may behold them. Lady, lady, alack, he that will all the treasure know of the earth must know the center too. He that will fish for my least minnow, let him lead his line to catch one at my heart. Oh, pardon me, extremity that sharpens sundry wits makes me a fool.
Pray you, say nothing. Pray you, who cannot feel nor see the rain being in it, knows neither wet nor dry. If that you were the grand piece of some painter, I would buy you to instruct me against a capital grief indeed. Such heart-pierced demonstration. But alas, being a natural sister of our sex, your sorrow beats so ardently upon me that it shall make a counter reflect against my brother's heart and warm it to some pity, though it were made of stone. Pray, have good comfort.
Forward to the temple. Let out not a jot of the sacred ceremony.
Oh, this celebration will last long and be more costly than. Your supplements war, remember that your fame knolls in the care, or the world. What you do quickly is not done rashly. Your first thought is more than others labored, maintenance. You're premeditating more than their actions, but oh Jove, your actions soon as they move, as bears do the fish, subdue before thy touch. Think, dear Duke, think what beds our slain kings have.
What griefs are beds that our dear hordes have none?
None fit for the dead, none those that with cords, knives, drams, precipitants, weary of this world's life, have to themselves been death's most horrid agents. Humane grace affords them dust and shadow.
But our lords lie blistering before the visiting sun, and were good kings when living.
It is true, and I will give you comfort to give your dead lords graves, the which you do must make some work with Creon.
And that work present itself to the doing. Now 'twill take form, and heats are gone tomorrow. Then bootless toil must recompense itself with its own sweat. Now he's secure, not dreams. We stand before your puissance, retching our holy begging in our eyes to make penitence clear, petition clear.
Now you may take him, drunk with victory.
And his army full of bread and sloth.
Odysseus, thou best knowest how to draw out fit to this enterprise, the primest of this proceeding, and the number to carry such a business. Forth and levy our worthiest instruments, whilst we dispatch this grand act of our life, this daring deed of fate in wedlock.
Dowagers, take hands. Let us be
Let
widows.
us widows to our voices delay. Commends us to a vanishing tongue.
Farewell.
We come unseasonably, but when could grief call forth an unpanged judgment, can first time for best solicitation?
Why, good ladies, this is a service whereto I am going, greater than any was. It more imports me than all the actions that I have foregone or futurely can cope.
The more proclaiming our suit shall be neglected when her arms able to lock Jove from a synod shall be by warranting moonlight corslet thee. Oh, when her twining cherries shall their sweetness fall upon thy tasteless lips, tasteful lips, what wilt thou think of rotten kings or blubbered queens? What care for what thou feelest not? What thou feelest able to make Mars spurn his drum? Oh, if thou shalt couch by one night with her, every hour in it will take hostage of thee for 100, and thou shalt remember more than what thy banquet bids thee to.
Though much unlike you should be so transported, as much sorry I should be such a suitor. Yet I think, did I not by thy abstaining of my joy, which breeds a deeper longing, cure their surfeit that craves a present medicine, I should pluck all ladies' scandal on me. Therefore, sir, as I shall here make trial of my prayers, either presuming them to have some force or sentencing for either vigor dumb, prorogue this business we are going about. Prorogue this business we are going about, and hang your shield before your heart about that neck which is my fee, and which I freely lend to do these poor queens service.
Oh, help me
now. Our cause cries for your need.
If you grant not my sister her petition in that force, with that celerity and nature which she makes it in, from henceforth, do not dare to ask you anything. I'll not dare it. nor be so hardy ever to take a husband.
Pray, stand up. I am entreating of myself to do that which you kneel to have me. Perithius, lead on the bride. Get you and pray the gods for success and return. Omit not anything in the pretended celebration. Queens, follow your soldier as before, hence you, and at the banks of Anley meet us with the forces you can raise, where we shall find the moiety of a number for a business more bigger looked, since that our theme is haste. I stamp this kiss upon thy current lip. Sweet, keep it as my token. Set you forward, for I will see you gone. Farewell, my beauteous sister. Perithius, keep the feast full, bate not an hour on't.
Sir, I'll follow at you at heels. The feast solemnity shall wait till your return.
Cousin, I charge you, budge not from Athens. We shall be returning ere you can end this feast, of which I pray you make no abatement. Once more, farewell all.
Thou doest still make good the tongue o'er the world.
And earnest a deity equal with Mars.
If not above him, for thou, being but mortal, makest affections bend to godlike honors. They themselves, some say, groan under such a mastery.
As we are men, thus should we do. Being sensually subdued, we lose our human title. Good cheer, ladies. Now turn we towards your comforts.
Flourish, exeunt, enter Palamon and Arcity.
Dear Palamon, dear in love and blood and our prime cousin, yet unhardened in the crimes of nature, let us leave the city Thebes and the temptings in it before we further sully our gloss of youth, and here to keep in abstinence we shame as in incontinence, for not to swim, evade of the current, were almost to snick, at least to frustrate striving, and to follow the common stream, too told, bring us to an eddy, where we should turn and drown, if labor through our gain but life and weakness.
Your advice is cried up with example. What strange ruins, since first we went to school, may we perceive walking in Thebes, scars and bare weeds, the gain of the marshalless, who did propound to his bold ends honor and golden ingots, which though he won, he had not, and now flirted by peace for whom he fought. Who then shall offer to Mars's so scorned altar? I do bleed when such I meet, and wish great Juno would resume her ancient fit of jealousy to get the soldier work, that peace might purge for her repletion, and retain anew her charitable heart, now hard and harsher than strife or war could be.
You not out? Meet you no ruin but the soldier in the cranks and turns of Thebes? You did begin as you met decades of many kinds. Perceive you none? What do arouse your pity and an unconsidered soldier?
Yes, I pity decays where'er I find them, but such most that sweating in an honorable toil are paid with ice to cool them.
'Tis not this I did begin to speak of. This is virtue of no respect in Thebes. I spake of Thebes, how dangerous if we will keep our honors. It is for our residing, where every evil hath a good color, where every seeming goods of a certain evil were not to be even jump, as they are. Here were to be strangers, and such things to be mere monsters.
'Tis in our power, unless we fear that apes can tutor us, to be masters of our manners. What need I affect another's gait, which is not catching where there is faith, or to be fond upon another's way of speech, when by mine own I may be reasonably conceived, and saved too, speaking it truly. Why am I bound by any generous bond to follow him, follows his tailor, happily so long until the followed may pursue? Or let me know why mine own barber is unblessed with him, my poor chin too, for 'tis not scissored just to such a favorite's glass. What cannon is there that does command my rapier from my hip to dangle in my hand, or to go tiptoe before the street be foul? Either I am the forehorse in the team, or I am none that draw the sequent race. These poor slight sores need not a planting, that which rips my bosom almost to the heart.
Uncle Creon.
Oh, he, a most unbounded tyrant, whose successes make heaven unfeared and villainy assured beyond its power. There's nothing almost puts faith in a fever and defies alone voluble chance, who only attributes the faculties of other instruments to his own nerves and act, commands men's service and what they women's boot and glory on, that fears not to do harm, good dares not. Let the blood of mine that said to him be sucked from me with leeches. Let them break and fall off me with that corruption.
Clear-spirited cousin, let's leave his court, that we may nothing share of his loud infamy. For our milk will relish of the pasture, and we must be vile or disobedient, not his kinsmen in blood, unless in quality.
Nothing truer. I think the echoes of his shames have deafened the ears of heavenly justice. Widows' cries descend again into their throats, and have not due audience of the guards. Valerius.
Enter Valerius. Anton, have you gotten the script yet, or? All right, well, I will go on as Valerius then. The king calls for you, yet be leaden-footed, till his great rage be off him. Phoebus, when he broke his whipstock and exclaimed against the horses of the sun, but—
I got it.
Okay.
The king calls for you, yet be leaden-footed, till his great rage be off him. Phoebus, when he broke his whipstock and exclaimed against the horses of the sun, but whispered to the lowness of his fury.
The small winds shake him. But what's the matter?
Theseus, who where he threats appalls, hath sent deadly defiance to him, and pronounces ruin to Thebes, who is at hand to seal the promise of his wrath.
Let him approach, but that we fear the gods in him, he brings not a jot of terror to us. Yet what man thirds his own worth? The case is each of ours, when that his action dredged, with mind assured, 'tis bad he goes about.
Leave that unreasoned. Our services stand now for Thebes, not Creon. Yet to be neutral to him were dishonor, rebellious to oppose. Therefore we must with him stand to the mercy of our fate, who have bounded our last minute.
So we must. It's said with wars afoot, or it shall be on fail of some condition.
'Tis in motion, the intelligence of state came in the instant with it to fire.
That's to the king who were
To the king who.
Continue.
Let's to the king who were he a carrier of that honor, which his enemy come in. The blood we venture should be as for our health, which were not spent, rather laid out for purchase. But alas, our hands advanced before our hearts. What will the fall of the stroke do damage?
Let the vent, that their erring arbitrator tell us when we know all ourselves, and let us follow the becking of our chance.
Exeunt. Scene 3. Enter Pirithous, Hippolyta, Emilia.
No further.
Oh, sir, farewell. Repeat my wishes to our great Lord, of whose success I dare not make any timorous question. Yet I wish him excesses and overflow of power. And it might be to door ill-dealing fortune, speed to him. Store never hurts. Good governors.
Though I know his ocean needs not my poor drops, yet they must yield their tribute there. My precious maid, those best affections that the heavens infuse in their best tempered pieces, keep enthroned in your dear heart.
Well, thanks, sir. Remember me to our old royal brother, for whose speed the great Bellona I'll solicit. And since in our Terran state petitions are not without gifts understood, I'll offer to her what I shall be advised she likes. Our hearts are in his army, in his tent.
In his bosom, we have been soldiers, and we cannot weep when our friends don their helms or put to sea, or tell of babes broached on the lance, or women that have sawed their infant in and after ate them the brine. They wept at killing them. Then if you stayed to see of us such spinsters, we should hold you here forever.
Peace be to you, as I pursue this war, which shall be then beyond further requiring.
How his longing follows his friend. Since his depart, his sports, though craving seriousness and skill, pass slightly his careless execution, where nor gain made him regard, or loss consider, but playing war business in his hand, another directing in his head. His mind, nurse equal to these so differing twins. Have you observed him since our great Lord departed?
With much labor, and I did love him for it. They too have captained in many as dangerous, as poor a corner, peril and want contenting. They have skipped torrents whose roaring tyranny and power in the least of these were dreadful, and they have fought out together where death's self was lodged, yet faith has brought them off. Their knot of love, tied, weaved, and tangled, with so true, so long, and with a thing of so deep a cunning, may be outworn, never undone. I think Theseus cannot be umpire to himself, cleaving his conscience into twain, and doing each side like justice, which he loves best.
Doubtless there is a best, and reason has no matters to say it is not you. I was acquainted once with a time when I enjoyed a playfellow. You were at wars when she the grave enriched, who made too proud the bed, took leave of the moon, which then looked pale at parting when our count was each A11.
'Twas Flavia.
Yes. You talk of Perseus and Theseus' love. Theirs has more ground, is more maturely seasoned, more buckled with strong judgment, and their needs the one of the other may be said to water. Their intertangled roots of love, but I and she I sigh and spoke of, were things innocent. Love that we did, and like the elements that know not what nor why, yet do affect rare issues by their operance, our souls did so to one another. What she liked was then of me approved, what not condemned, no more arraignment. The flower that I would pick and put between my breasts, oh, but beginning to swell about the blossom, she would long till she had such another, and commit it to the like innocent cradle, where phoenix-like they died in perfume. On my head, no toy, but was her pattern, her affections. Pretty though haply her careless were, I followed from my most serious decking. I had mine ear stolen some new air, or at adventure hummed on from musical coinage. Why, it was a note whereon her spirits will sojourn, rather dwell on and sing it in her slumbers. This rehearsal, which fury innocent wots well, comes in like old importment's bastard, has this end, that the true love between maid and maid may be more than in sex individual.
You're out of breath, and this high-speeded pace is but to say, that you shall never like the maid Flaviana love any that's called man.
I'm sure I shall not.
Now alack, weak sister, I must no more believe thee in this point, though in it I know thou dost believe thyself. Then I will trust a sickly appetite that loathes even as it longs. But sure, my sister, if I were ripe for your persuasion, you have said enough to shake me from the arm of the all-noble Theseus, for whose fortunes I will now in and kneel with great assurance that we, more than his Prometheus, possess the high throne in his heart.
I am not against your faith, yet I continue mine.
Exeunt. Cornets, a battle struck within, then retreat, flourish, then enter Theseus, victor. The three queens meet him and fall on their faces before him.
To thee no star be dark.
Both heaven and earth friend thee forever.
All the good that may be wished upon thy head, I pray, amen to it.
The impartial gods who from the mounted heavens view us their mortal herd, behold who err and in their time chastise. Go and find out the bones of your Lord on a treble ceremony, rather than a gap should be in dear rights, we supply it. But those we will dispute which shall invest dignities, and even each thing our hast doth leave imperfect. So adieu, and heaven's good eyes look on you. What are those?
Exeunt queens. Men of great quality, as may be judged by their appointment. Some of Thebes have told us they are sisters' children, nephews to the king.
By the helm of Mars, I saw them in the war, like to a pair of lions, succored with prey, make lanes in troops aghast. I fixed my note constantly on them, for they were but a mark worth of a god's view. What prisoner was told me when I inquired their names?
We leave, they're called Arcite and Palamon.
'Tis right, those, they are not dead.
Nor in a state of life had they been taken when their last hurts were given. 'Twas possible. They might have been recovered, yet they breathe and have the name of men.
Then, like men use them, the very lees of such millions of rates exceed the wine of others. All our surgeons convent in their behoof our richest balms, rather than niggard waste their lives concern us, much more than Thebes is worth. Rather than have 'em freed of this plight, and in their mourning state sound and at liberty, I would 'em dead. For 40,000-fold we had rather have 'em prisoners to us than death. Bear 'em speedily from our kind heir to them unkind, and minister what man to man may doth for our sake more, since I have known frights, fury, friends, behests, loves, provocations, zeal, a mistress' task, desire of liberty, a fervor, madness, has set a mark which nature could not reach to, with some imposition, sickness in will, or wrestling, strength in reason for our love, and great Apollo's mercy, all our best, their best skill tender, lead into the city, where having bound things scattered, we will post to Athens for our army.
Flourish exeunt music. Enter the queens with the hearses of their knights in a funeral solemnity, etc. Urns and odors bring away, vapors sighs darken the day. Our dole more deadly looks than dying, balms and gums and heavy cheers, sacred vials filled with tears and clamors through the wild air flying. Come all sad and solemn shows, they are quick-eyed pleasure's foes. We can vent naught else but woes, we can vent naught else but woes. Our funeral path brings to your household's grave. Joy cease on you again, peace sleep with him.
And this to you.
Yours this way. Heaven lendeth 1,000 different ways to one sure end.
This world's a city full of strange streets, and death's the marketplace where each one meets. Exeunt severally. Actus secundus. Enter jailer and wooer.
I may depart with little while I live. Something I may cast to you.
Your video's not on, and David, your video is on and doesn't need to be on right now. Joey, Joey, are you there? I'm getting your video on. All right, Joey, what, I guess, can you get your video on? If you're having problems with that, if you just want to go ahead and read it with your video off, then we can do that. Joey, are you there? All right, well, I guess I will cover the jailer until he gets here. I heard you before, Joey. Are you there? All right. I may depart with little while I live, something I may cast to you, not much. Alas, the prison I keep, though it be for great ones, yet they seldom come. Before one salmon you shall take a number of minnows. I have given out to be better lined than it can appear to me. Report is a true speaker. I would I were really that I am delivered to be. Mary, what I have, be it what it will, I will assure upon my daughter at the day of my death.
Sir, I demand no more than your own offer, and I will estate your daughter in what I have promised.
Well, we will talk more of this when the solemnity is passed, but have you a full promise of her? Enter daughter. When that shall be seen, I tender, Joey, if you can get in and just take over for me whenever, please do. When that shall be seen, I tender my consent.
I have, sir. Here she comes.
Your friend and I have chanced to name you here upon the old business, but no more of that. Now, so soon as the court is over, we will have an end of it. I mean, time, look tenderly to the two prisoners. I can tell you, they are princes.
These doings are for their chamber. It's pity they're in prison, and for pity they should be out. I do think they have patience to make any adversity ashamed. The prison itself is proud of them, and they have all the world in their chamber.
They are famed to be a pair of absolute men.
By my troth, I think fame but stammers them. They stand a grease above the reach of report.
I heard them reported in battle to be the only doers.
Nay, most likely, for they are noble sufferers. I marvel how they would have looked had they been victors. That was such a constant nobility and force of freedom out of bondage, making misery their mirth and affliction the toy to jest at.
Do they so?
Seems to me they have no more of sense of their captivity than I of ruling Athens. They eat well, look merrily, discourse of many things, but nothing of their own restraint and disasters. Yet sometime a divided sigh, martyred as toward the deliverance, will break from one of them, when the other presently gives it so sweet a rebuke that I could wish myself aside to be so chid, or at least desire to be comforted.
I never saw him.
The Duke himself came privately in the night, enter Palamon and Arcity above. And so did they, that the reason of it is I know not. Look yonder, there they are. That's Arcity looks out.
No, sir, no, that's Palamon. Arcity is the lower of the twain. You may perceive a part of him.
Go to, leave your pointing. They would not make us their object, out of their sight.
It's a holiday to look on them. Lord, the difference of men.
Exeunt. Enter Palamon and Arcity in prison.
How do you, noble cousin?
How do you, sir?
Why, strong enough to laugh at misery and bear the chance of war. Yet we are prisoners, I fear, forever, cousin.
Believe it, and that destiny we have patiently laid up my hour to come.
Oh, cousin Arcite, where is Thebes now? Where is our noble country? Where are our friends and kindreds? Never more must we behold those comforts. Never see the hearty youths strive for the games of honor, hung with the painted favors of their ladies like tall ships under sail. Then start amongst them as an east wind, leave them all behind us like lazy clouds, whilst Palamon and Arcite, even in the wagging of a wanton leg, outstripped the people's praises, won the garlands ere they have time to wish 'em ours. Oh, never shall we two exercise like twins of honor our arms again, and feel our fiery horses like proud seas under us. Our good swords, now better the red-eyed god of war never were, braved our sides, like age must run to rust, and deck the temples of those gods that hate us. These hands shall never draw 'em out like lightning to blast whole armies more.
No, Palamon. Those hopes are prisoners with us. Here we are, and here the graces of our youths must wither like a too timely spring. Here age must find us, and which is heaviest, Palamon, unmarried. The sweet embraces of a loving wife, loaded with kisses, armed with 1,000 cupids, shall never clasp our necks. No issue know us, no figures of ourselves shall we ever see, to glad our age, and like young eagles teach them boldly to gaze against the bright arms and say, remember what our fathers were, and conquer. The fair-eyed maids shall weep our banishments, and in their songs curse ever blinded fortune, till she, for shame, see what a wrong she has done to youth and nature. This all our world, we shall know nothing here but one another, hear nothing but the clock that tells our woes. The vine shall grow, and we shall never see it. Summer shall come, and with her delights, but dead cold winter must inhabit here still.
'Tis too true, Arcite. To our Theban hounds that shook the aged forest with their echoes, no more now must we hallow, no more shake our pointed javelins, whilst the angry swine flies like a Parthian quiver from our rages, struck with our well-steeled darts. All valiant uses, the food and nourishment of noble minds, in us two here shall perish. We shall die, which is the curse of honor. Lastly, children of grief and ignorance.
Yet, cousin, even from the bottom of these miseries, from all the fortune can inflict upon us, I see two comforts rising, two mere blessings, if the gods please, to hold here brave patience and the enjoying of our griefs together, whilst Palamon is with me. Let me perish if I think this our prison.
Certainly, it is a main goodness, cousin, that our fortunes were twinned together. 'Tis most true. Two souls put in two noble bodies, let them suffer the gall of hazard, so they grow together, will never sink. They must not say they could. A willing man dies sleeping, and all's done.
Shall we make worthy use of this place that all men hate so much?
How, gentle cousin?
Let's think this prison, holy sanctuary, to keep us from corruption of worse men. We are young and yet desire the ways of honor, that liberty and common conversation, the poison of pure spirits, might, like women, woo us to wander from. What worthy blessing can be but our imaginations may make it ours, and here, being thus together, we are an endless mind to one another. We are one another's wife, ever begetting new births of love. We are father, friends, acquaintance. We are in one another, families. I am your heir, and you are mine. This place is our inheritance. No hard oppressor dare take this from us. Here, with a little patience, we shall live long and loving. No surfeits seek us. The hand of war hurts none here, nor the seas swallow their youth. Were we at liberty, A wife might part us lawfully, our business quarrels consume us. Envy of all ill men crave our acquaintance. I might sicken, cousin, where you should never know it, and so perish without your noble hand to close mine eyes. Or prayers to the gods, 1,000 chances were we from hence would sever us.
You have made me, I thank you, cousin Arcite, almost wanton with my captivity. What a misery it is to live abroad and everywhere. It is like a beast, methinks. I find at the court here, I am sure, am more content, and all those pleasures that rule the wills of men to vanity, I see through now, and am sufficient to tell the world 'tis but a gaudy shadow that old time as he passes by takes with him. What? Had we been in the court of, had we been old in the court of Crayon, where sin is justice, lust, and ignorance the virtues of the great ones, cousin Arcite, had not the loving gods found this place for us, we had died as they do, ill old men, unwept, and had their epitaph the people's curses. Well, shall I say more?
I would hear you still.
Ye shall. Is there record of any two that love better than we do, Arcite?
Sure there cannot.
I do not think it possible, for our friendship should ever leave us.
Till our deaths it cannot. And after death our spirits shall be led to those that love eternally. Speak on, sir. This garden has a world of pleasures in it.
What flower is that?
Called Narcissus, madam.
That was a fair boy, certain, but a fool to love himself. Were there not maids enough?
Pay forward.
Yes.
Or were they all hard-hearted?
They could not be to one so fair.
Thou wouldst not.
I think I should not, madam.
That's a good wench. But take heed to your kindness, though.
Why, madam?
Men are mad things.
Will you go forward, cousin?
Canst not thou work such flowers in silk, wench?
Yes.
I'll have a gown full of them, and of these. This is a pretty color. Will it not do rarely upon a skirt, wench?
Dainty, madam.
Cousin, how do you, sir? Why, Palamon?
Never till now was I in prison, Arcite.
Why, what's the matter, man?
Behold and wonder. By heaven, she is a goddess. Do reverence. She is a goddess, Arcite.
All flowers, methinks a rose is best.
My gentle madam.
Ay, it is the very emblem of a maid. For when the west wind courts her gently, how modestly she blows and paints the sun with her chaste blushes. When the north comes near her rude and impatient, then like chastity, she locks her beauties in her bud again and leaves him to base briars.
Yet, good madam, sometimes her modesty will blow so far she falls for it. Maybe if she have any honor, would be loath to take example by her.
Oh, thou art wanton.
His wonders fair.
She is all the beauty extant.
Oh, the sun grows high. Let's walk in. Keep those flowers. See how near art can come near their colors. I am wondrous merry-hearted. I could laugh now.
I could lie down, I am sure.
And take one with you?
That's a sweet bargain, madam.
Well, agreed then.
What think you of this beauty?
It's a rare one.
'Tis is but a rare one?
Matchless beauty.
Might not a man well lose himself and...
I cannot tell what you have done. I have bestrew mine eyes for it. Now I feel my shackles.
You love her then?
Who would not?
And desire her?
Before my liberty.
I saw her first.
That's nothing.
But it shall be.
I saw her too.
Yes, but you must not love her.
I will not, as you do, to worship her, as she is heavenly and blessed goddess. I love her as a woman, to enjoy her. So both may love.
You shall not love at all.
Not love at all? Who shall deny me?
I that first saw her. I that took possession first with mine eyes of all those beauty in her revealed to mankind. If thou lovest her, or entertainst the hope to blast my wishes, thou art a traitor, Arcite, and a fellow false as thy title to her. Friendship, blood, and all the ties between us I do disclaim if thou once think upon her.
Yes, I love her. And if the lives of all my name lay on it, I must do so. I love her with my soul. If that will lose ye, farewell, Palamon. I say again, I love, and in loving her maintain, I am as worthy and as free a lover, and have as just a title to her beauty as any Palamon or any living that is a man's son.
And have I called thee friend?
Yes. And have found me so. Why are you moved thus? Let me deal coldly with you. Am not I part of your blood, part of your soul? You have told me that I was Palamon and you were Arcite.
Yes.
Am not I liable to those affections? Those joys, griefs, angers, fears? My friend shall suffer?
Ye may be.
Why then would you deal so cunningly, so strangely, so unlike a noble kinsman to love alone? Speak truly. Do you think me unworthy of her sight?
No, but unjust if thou pursue that sight.
Because another first sees the enemy, but I stand still and let mine honor down, and never charge?
Yes, if he be but one.
But say that one had rather combat me.
Let that one say so, and use thy freedom. Else, if thou pursuest her, be as that cursed man that hates his country, a branded villain.
You are mad.
Oh, I must be. Till thou art worthy, Arcite, it concerns me, and in this madness, if I hazard thee and take thy life, I deal but truly.
Fie, sir! You play the child extremely. I will love her. I must. I ought to do so, and I dare, and all this justly.
Oh, that now thy false self and thy friend had but this fortune to be 1 hour at liberty and grasp our good swords in our hands, I would quickly teach thee what 'twere to filch affection from another. Thou art baser in it than a cut purse. Oh, but put thy head out of this window more, as I have a soul, I'll nail thy life to it.
Thou darest not, fool. Thou canst not. Thou art feeble. Put my head out? I'll throw my body out and leap the garden when I see her next, and pitch between her arms to anger thee.
No more, no more. The keeper's coming. I shall live to knock thy brains out with my shackles.
Keeper, that's you, Joe, the jailer. Are you back?
Yes, I'm sorry, the connection got dropped. But what page am I on here?
45. We're on page 45, and you're also, the jailer is also the keeper. So it's like
Keeper, okay. Oh, Do. We start with Pal?
Do.
It's just up to you, keeper.
Okay, Do.
And then you're
Need
on.
more?
No
Okay.
more. The keeper's
By your
coming up.
leave, by your leave, gentlemen.
Now, honest keeper.
I am Lord Arcite. You must presently to a duke. The cause I know not yet.
Ready, keeper.
Prince Palamon, I must a while bereave you of your fair cousin's company.
Exeunt Arcity and Keeper.
And me too, even when you please, of life. Why is he sent for? It may be that he shall marry her. He's goodly, and like enough the Duke hath taken notice both of his blood and body, but his falsehood. Why should a friend be treacherous? If that get him a wife so noble and so fair, let honest men ne'er love again. Once more, I would but see this fair one. Oh, blessed garden, and fruit and flowers more blessed that blossom still as her bright eyes shine on ye. Would I were, for all the fortune of my life hereafter, yon little tree, yon blooming apricot, how I would spread and fling my wanton arms in at her window. I would bring her fruit fit for the gods to feed on. Youth and pleasure still, as she tasted, should be doubled on her. Oh, if she be not heavenly, I would make her so near the gods in nature they should fear her. And then I am sure she would love me. Oh, how now, Keeper? Where's Arcite?
Banished Prince Prithous, obtained his liberty, but never more. Upon his oath in life must be set foot upon this kingdom.
He's a blessed man. He shall see thieves again and call to arms the bold young men that when he bids them charge, fall on like fire. Arcite shall have a fortune if he dare make himself a worthy lover, yet in the field to strike a battle for her. And if he lose her then, he's a cold coward. How bravely may he bear himself to win. If he be noble Arcite, 1,000 ways. Were I at liberty, I would do things of such a virtuous greatness that this lady, this blushing virgin, should take manhood to her and seek to ravish me.
My lord, for you, I have this charge too.
To discharge my life?
No, but from this place to remove your lordship. The windows are too open.
Devils take them that are so envious to me. Prithee, kill me.
And hang for it afterward.
By this good light, had I a sword, I would kill thee.
Why, my lord?
Thou bringst such pelting, scurvy news continually that thou art not worth life. I will not go.
Indeed you must, my lord.
May I see the garden?
No.
Then I am resolved. I will not go.
I must constrain you then. And for you are deranged, clap more yawns on you.
Do, good keeper. I'll shake him so ye shall not sleep. I'll make ye a new Morris. Oh, must I go?
There is no remedy.
Farewell, kind window. May rude wind never hurt thee. Oh, my lady, if ever thou hast felt what sorrow was, dream how I suffer. Come, now bury me.
Exeunt Palamon and Keeper. Scene 3. Enter Arcity.
Banished the kingdom? 'Tis a benefit, a mercy I must thank him for, but banished the free enjoying of that face I die for. Oh, 'twas a studied punishment, a death beyond imagination, such vengeance that I were old and wicked, all my sins could never pluck upon me. Palamon, thou hast the spot now. Thou shalt stay and see her bright eyes break each morning against thy window, and let in life into thee Thou shalt feed upon the sweetness of a noble beauty that nature never exceeded, nor never shall. Good gods! What happiness has Palamon? 20-1, he'll come to speak to her, and if she be as gentle as she's fair, I know she's his. He has a tongue will tame tempests and make the wild rocks wanton. Come what can come, the worst is death. I will not leave the kingdom. I know mine own is but a heap of ruins, and no redress there. If I go, he has her. I am resolved, and other shape shall make me, or end my fortunes. Either way, I am happy. I'll see her and be near her. Oh, no more.
Enter 4 country people and 1 with a garland before them. Jackie, are you country 1? It's like, yeah, I'm sorry. Country folk, 1, 2, 3, 4. Jackie, Simone, Anton, and Mary Lou.
Okay, one. My masters, I'll be there, that's certain.
I don't know which one I have. I was never told I had this part.
I'm sorry about that, Simone, my bad. Yeah, if you could just be 2, sorry.
2, okay. Okay, and I'll be there.
And I.
Why then have with ye boys, 'tis but a chiding.
Wait, hold on, pause. I'm sorry. Anton, you're 3, and Mary Lou, you're 4. I'm sorry, my bad. This is all my bad. There's four country folk. Let's start it again. We have so it's Jackie, Simone, Anton, Mary Lou. You know, okay. Sorry for the confusion, but let's start again. Enter 4 country people and 1 with a garland before them.
My masters, I'll be there.
And I'll be there.
And I.
Why then, have you boys, 'tis but a chiding. Let's plow play together. I'll tickle them out of jade tails tomorrow.
I am sure to have my wife as jealous as a turkey, but that's all one. I'll go through, let her mumble.
Clap her abroad tomorrow night and stir, and all made again.
Aye, do put up a fist in her fist, and you shall see her take a new lesson out and be a good wench. Do we all hold against the Maying?
Hold? What shall hold all us?
Argus will be there.
And Samoas, and Raucus, and 3. Better lads never danced under the green tree, yet knows what wrenches, ha? But will the dainty domain and the schoolmaster keep touch, do you think? For he does all you know.
He'll eat a horn book ere he fail. Go to. The matter's too far driven between them, and the tanner's daughter to let it slip now, and she must see the Duke, and she must dance too.
Shall we be lasty?
All the boys in Athens blow wind in the breach-ons, and here lie be, and there I'll be, for our town, and here again, and there again. Ha! Boys, hey for the wet weavers.
This must be done in the woods.
Oh, pardon me.
But any means our thing of learning see so, where he himself will edify the Duke most perilously in our behalfs. He's excellent in the woods, bring him to the plains. His learning make no cry.
We'll see the sports, then every man his tackle, and sweet companions let rehearse by any means, before the ladies see us, and do sweetly, and God knows what may come on't.
Content, the sports once ended will perform. Away, boys, and hold.
By your leaves, honest friends. Pray you, whither go you?
Whither? Why, what a question's that?
Yes, 'tis a question to me that know not.
To the games, my friend.
Where were you bred? You know it not?
Not far, sir. There are such games today.
Oh, yes, Mary, are there, and such as you never saw. The Duke himself will be in person there.
What pastimes are they?
Rattling and running, 'tis a pretty fellow.
Thou wilt not go along.
Not yet, sir.
Well, sir, take your own time. Come, boys.
My mind misgives me. This fellow has a vengeance trick of the hip. Mark how his body's made for it.
I'll be hanged, though, if he dare venture. Hang him plum porridge. His wrestle, he roasts eggs. Come, that's gone, lads.
Exeunt 4.
This is an offered opportunity I durst not wish for. Well, I could have wrestled the best men, called it excellent, and run swifter, then whined upon a field of corn, curly with wealthy ears, never flew. I'll venture, and in some poor disguise be there, who knows whether my brows may not be girt with garlands. And happiness prefer me to a place where I may ever dwell in sight of her.
Exit Arcity. Scene 4. Enter jailer's daughter alone.
Why should I love this gentleman? Besides, he never will affect me. I'm base. My father, the mean keeper of his prison, and he a prince. To marry him is hopeless. To be his whore is witless. Out upon it. What pushes are we wenches driven to, and 15 once has found us? First I saw him, I, seeing, thought he was a goodly man. He has as much to please a woman in him, if he pleased to bestow it so, as ever these eyes yet looked on. Next I pitied him, and so would any young wench of my conscience that ever dreamed, or vowed her maidenhead to a young handsome man. Then I loved him, extremely loved him, infinitely loved him. And yet he had a cousin, fair as he too. But my heart was Palamon, and there, Lord, what a coil he keeps. To hear him sing in an evening, what a heaven it is. And yet his songs are sad ones. Fair spoken was never gentleman. When I come in to bring him water in the morning, first he bows his noble body, then salutes me thus. Fair, gentle maid, good morrow. May thy goodness get thee a happy husband. Once he kissed me. I love my lips the better 10 days after. Would he would do so every day. He grieves much, and me as much to see his misery. What should I do to make him know I love him? For I would fain enjoy him. Say I venture to set him free. What says the law then? Thus much for law or kindred. I will do it, and this night or tomorrow he shall love me.
Exit. Scene 4, 5. Enter Theseus, Hippolyta, Pirithous, Emilia, Arcity, and garlands, etc. The short flourish of trumpets and shouts within.
You have done worthily. I have not seen since Hercules a man of tougher sinews. But you run the best and wrestle that these times can allow.
I'm proud to please you.
What country bred you?
This, but far off, Prince.
Are you a gentleman?
My father said so, and to those gentle uses gave me life.
Are you his heir?
The youngest, sir.
Your father? Sure is a happy sire then. What proves you?
A little of all noble qualities. I could have kept a hawk and well have hollowed the deep cry of dogs. I dare not praise my feat in horsemanship, yet they that knew me would say that I was my best piece. Yet last and greatest, I would be thought a soldier.
You are perfect.
Upon my
soul, a proper man.
He
is so.
How do you like him, lady?
Oh, I admire him. I have not seen so young a man, so noble, if you say true, of his sort.
Believe. His mother was a wondrous, handsome woman. His face, methinks, goes that way.
But his body and fine mind illustrate a brave father.
Mark how his virtue, like a hidden sun, breaks through his baser garments.
He's well got, sure.
What made you seek this place, sir?
Noble Theseus, to purchase name and do my ablest service to such a well-found wonder as thy worth, for only in thy court of all the world dwells fair-eyed honor.
All his words are worthy.
Sir, we are much indebted to your travel, nor shall you lose your wit. Perseus, dispose of this fair gentleman.
Thanks, Theseus. Whate'er you are, you're mine, and I shall give you to a most noble service. To this lady, this bright young virgin, pray observe her goodness. You have honored his fair birthday with your virtues, and as your due, you're his. Kiss her fair hand, sir.
Sir, you're a noble giver. Dearest Utile, let me seal my vowed faith when your servant, your most unworthy creature, but offends you, command him die, he shall.
That were too cruel. If you deserve well, sir, I shall soon see it. You're a mine and somewhat better than your rank. I'll use you.
I'll see you furnished, and because you say you are a horseman, I must needs entreat you this afternoon to ride, but 'tis a rough one.
I like him better, Prince. I shall not then freeze in my saddle.
Sweet, you must be ready. And you, Amelia, and you, friend, and all tomorrow by the sun, to do observance to flowery May in Dian's wood. Wait well, sir, upon your mistress. Emily, I hope he shall not go afoot.
That were a shame, sir, while I have horses. Take your choice, and what you want at any time, let me but know it. If you serve faithfully, I dare assure you you'll find a loving mistress.
I do not. Let me find that my father ever hated, disgrace and blows.
Go lead the way. You have won it. It shall be so. You shall receive all dues fit for the honor you have won. 'Twere wrong else, sister, beshrew my heart, you have a servant that, if I were a woman, would be master. Well, wise.
I hope too wise for that, sir.
Exeunt omnes. Scene 6. Enter jailer's daughter alone.
Let all the dukes and all the devils roar. He is at liberty. I have ventured for him, and out have I brought him to a little wood a mile hence. I have sent him where a cedar, higher than all the rest, spreads like a plain, fast like by a brook, and there he shall keep close, till I provide him files and food, for yet his iron bracelets are not off. Oh, love, what a stout-hearted child thou art. My father durst better have endured cold iron than done it. I love him, beyond love and beyond reason, or wit, or safety. I have made him know it. I care not. I am desperate. If the law find me and then condemn me for it, some wenches, some honest-hearted maids will sing my dirge, and tell to memory my death was noble, dying almost a martyr. That way he takes. I purpose is my way too. Sure he cannot be so unmanly as to leave me here. If he do, maids will not so easily trust men again. And yet he has not thanked me for what I have done. No, not so much as kiss me. And that methinks is not so well. Nor scarcely could I persuade him to become a freeman. He made such scruples of the wrong he did to me and to my father. Yet I hope when he considers more, this love of mine will take more root within him. Let him do what he will with me, so he use me kindly, for use me so he shall, or I'll proclaim him into his face no man. I'll presently provide him the necessaries and pack my clothes up, and where there is a path of ground I'll venture, so he be with me. By him, like a shadow, I'll ever dwell. Within this hour, the hubbub will be all o'er the prison. I am them kissing the man they look for. Farewell, father. Get many more such prisoners and such daughters, and shortly you may keep yourself. Now to him.
Actus Tertius, Cornets in sundry places, noise and hallowing, as people a-maying. Scene 1, enter Arcity alone.
Lucas lost Hippolyta. Each took several land. This is a solemn rite. They all bloomed May, and the Athenians pay it of heart ceremony. Oh, Queen Emilia, fresher than May, sweeter than her gold buttons on the bows, or all the enamelled necks of mead or garden, yea, we challenge too, the bank of any nymph that makes the streams seem flowers. O thou, O jewel of wood of world, hast likewise blessed a place with thy sole presence in thy rumination, that I, poor man, might eftsoons come between and chop on some cold thought, thrice blessed chance to drop on such a mistress, expectation most guiltless aunt. Tell me, O Lady Fortune, next after Emily, my sovereign, how far I may be proud. She takes strong note of me, hath made me near her, and this beauteous morn, the primmest of all the year, presents me with a brace of horses. Two such steeds might well be by a pair of kings backed in a field that their crowns titles tried. Alas, alas, poor cousin Palamon, poor prisoner, thou so little dreamst upon my fortune, that thou thinkst thyself the happier thing to be so near Emilia. Me thou deemst at Thebes, and therein wretched, although free. But if thou knowest my mistress breathed upon me, and that I eared her language, lived in her eye, oh, cause what passion would enclose thee?
Enter Palamon, as out of a bush with his shackles bends his fist at Arcity.
Treasure, kinsman, thou shouldst perceive my passion if these signs of imprisonment were off me, and this hand by owner of a sword. By all oaths in one, I and the justice of my love would make thee a confessed traitor. Oh, thou most perfidious, that ever gently looked the voids of honor, that ever bore gentle token, falsest cousin, that ever blood made kin, call'st thou her thine?
Right,
I'll
right.
prove it in my shackles, with these hands void of appointment, that thou liest, and art a very thief of love, a chaffy lord, not worth the name of villain. Had I a sword and these house clogs away,
Dear cousin Palamon,
cousin Arcite, give me language such as thou hast showed me feet.
not finding in the circuit of my breast any gross stuff to form me like your blazon, holds me to the gentleness of answer. 'Tis your passion that thus mistakes, the which to you being enemy cannot to me be kind. Honor and honesty I cherish and depend on, howsoever you skip them in me, and with them fair cause I'll maintain my proceedings. Pray be pleased to shew in generous terms your griefs, since that your question with your equal, who professes to clear his own way, make the mind and sword of a true gentleman.
That thou durst, Arcite.
My cousin, you have been well advertised how much I dare. You have seen me use my sword against advice of fear. Sure of another, you would not hear me doubted, but your silence should break out in the sanctuary.
Sir, I have seen you move in such a place, which well might justify your manhood. You were called a good knight and a bold, but the whole week's not fair if any day it rain. Their valiant temper men lose when they incline to treachery, and then they fight like compelled bears, would fly were not they tied.
Kinsman, you might as well speak this and act in your glass. As to his ear, which now disdains you,
Oh, come up to me. Quit me of these cold gyves. Give me a sword, though it be rusty, and the charity of one meal lend me. You come before me then, a good sword in thy hand, and do but say that Emily is thine. I will forgive the trespass thou hast done me, yea, my life, if then thou carry it, and brave souls in shades that have died manly, which will seek of me some news from earth, they shall get none but this, that thou art brave and noble.
Be content. Again, we take you to the Hawthorne house. With conseil of the night, I will be here with wholesome viands. These impediments I file off you. You shall have garments and perfumes to kill the smell of the prison after, when you shall stretch yourself and say, but Arcity, I am in plight. There shall be at your choice both sword and armor.
Oh, you heavens! There's any so noble bear a guilty business? None, but only Arcity. Therefore none but Arcity in this kind is so bold.
Sweet Palamon,
I do embrace you and your offer. For your offer do it I only. Sir, your person without hypocrisy, I may not wish more than my sword's edge on't.
you hear the horns? Enter your music, lest this match between us be crossed. Ere met, give me your hand. Farewell. I will bring you every needful thing. I pray you take comfort and be strong.
Pray hold your promise, and do the deed with a bent bow. And most certain you love me not. And be rough with me, and pour this oil out of your language. By this air I could for each word give a cup. My stomach not reconciled by reason.
Plainly spoken. Yet pardon me, hard language, when I spur my horse. I chide him not. Content and anger in me have but one face. Hark, sir, they call the scattered to the banquet. You must guess I have an offense there.
Sir, your attendance cannot please heaven, and I know your office unjustly is achieved.
If a good title. I am persuaded this question is sick betweens. By bleeding must be curd. I am a suitor that to your sword you will bequeath this plea, and talk of it no more.
But this one word, you are going now to gaze upon my mistress, for note you, mine she is.
Nay then.
Nay, pray you. You talk of feeding me to breed me strength. You are going now to look upon a son that strengthens what it looks on. There you have advantage of me, but enjoy it till I may enforce my remedy. Farewell.
Exeunt. Scene 2. Enter jailer's daughter alone.
He has mistook. The beak I meant is gone after his fancy. 'Tis now all night morning. No matter. What were perpetual night, and darkness lord o'er the world? Hark, 'tis a wolf. In me grief hath slain here, fear. But for one thing, I care for nothing, that's Palamon. I reek not if the wolves should jaw me, so he had this file. What if I holler for him? I cannot holler. If I whooped, what then? If he not answered, I shall call a wolf, and do him but that service. I've heard strange howls this livelong night. When may not be they have made prey of him? He has no weapons. He cannot run. The jangling of his gears might call fell things to listen. Well, having them a sense to know a man unarmed, and I can smell where resistance is. I'll set it down, he's torn to pieces. They howl many together, and then they feed on him. So much for that. Be bold to ring the bell. How stand I then? Well, sharp when he is gone. No, I lie. My father's to be hanged for his escape. Myself to bed. If I prize life so much as to deny my act, but that I would not, should I try death by dozens? I am moped. Food took on none these 2 days. Sip some water. I'm not closing my eyes, save when my lids scout off their bind. Alas, it's all my life. Not my sense unsettled, least I should drown, stab, or hang myself. Oh, state of nature failed together in me, since I best props are warped. So which way now? The best way is to a grave. Each errant step beside is torment. Lo, the moon is down, the crickets chirp. The shriek owl calls in the dawn. All offices are done, save what I fail in. But the point is this an end, and that is all.
Exit. Enter Arcity with meat, wind, and files.
I should be near the place. Ho, cousin Palamon.
Enter Palamon.
Arcity.
The same I have brought you food and files. Come forth and fear not. Here's no Theseus.
None so honest, Arcity.
That's no matter. We'll argue that after. Come, take courage. You shall not die thus beastly. Here, sir, drink. I know you are faint. Then I'll talk further with you.
Arcity, thou mightst not now poison me.
I might, but I must fear you first. Sit down, and good now, no more of these vain parleys. Let us not, having our ancient reputation with us, make talk of fools and cowards. To your health, etc.
Do.
Pray sit down then, and let me entreat you by all the honesty and honor in you, no mention of this woman till 'twill disturb us. We shall have time enough.
Well, sir, I'll pledge you.
Drink a good hearty draught, it breeds good blood, man. Do not feel it thaw you.
Stay, I'll tell you after a draft or two or more.
Spare it not. The Duke has more cause. Eat now.
Yes.
I'm glad you have so good a stomach.
I am gladder I have so good meat to it.
It's not mad lodging here in the wild woods, cousin.
Yes, for them that have wild consciences.
Now, tests your vitals. Your hunger needs no sauce, I see.
Not much, but if it did, yours is too tart. Sweet cousin, what is this?
Listen.
Tis a lusty meat.
Huh?
Give me more wine. Here, Arcity, to the wenches we have known in our days. The Lord Steward's daughter. Do you remember her?
After you, cuz.
She loved a black-haired man.
She did so. Well, sir?
And I have heard some call him Arcity, and...
Out with faith.
She met him in an arbor. What did she there, cuz? Play or the virginals?
Something she did, sir.
Made her groan a month for it, or 2, or 3, or 10?
The marshal's sister. Her share too. As I remember, cousin, else there be tales abroad. You'll pledge her. Well, you'll pledge her?
Yes.
A pretty brown wench, 'tis there was a time when young men went hunting and a wood and a broad beach, and thereby hangs the tale. Hi-ho!
Oh, for Emily, upon my life, fool, away with this strange mirth. I say again, that sigh was breathed for Emily. Haste, cousin, darest thou break first?
Why?
By heaven and earth, there's nothing in thee honest.
Then I'll leave you. You are a beast now.
As thou makest me, traitor.
There's all things needful, files and shirts and perfumes. I'll come again some 2 hours hence and bring that that shall quiet all.
Sword and armor.
Fear me not. You are now too foul. Farewell. Get off your trinkets. You shall want naught.
Sir, huh?
I'll hear no more.
Exit.
If he keep touch, he dies for it.
Exit. Scene 4. Enter jailer's daughter.
I'm very cold. The stars are out too. The little stars and all, they look like aglets. The sun has seen my folly. Palamon, alas, no, he's in heaven. Where am I now? Yonder's the sea. There's a ship. How it tumbles, and there's a rock lies watching underwater. Now it beats upon it. Now. There's a leak sprung, go sound one, and how they cry. Upon her before the wind, you lose all else. Up with the course or two, and take a bout, boys. Good night. You're gone. I'm very hungry. Wish I could find a fine frog. You would tell me news from all parts of the world. Then when I make a carrack of a cockle shell and sail by east and northeast to the king of pygmies, he tells fortunes really. Now my father, 20-1, is trussed up in a trice tomorrow morning. I'll never say a word. For I'll cut my green coat a foot above my knee, and I'll cut my yellow locks an inch before mine eye. Hey, nonny. He's buying me a white cut for to ride, and I'll go seek him through the world that is so wide. Hey, nonny. Oh, for a pricknut like a nightingale to put my breast against, and shall sleep like a top else.
Exit. Scene 5, actually. Enter a schoolmaster, 4 countrymen, and Baum, 2 or 3 wenches with a taborer. Fie, what tediosity and insanity is here among ye! Have my rudiments been labored so long with ye, milked unto ye, and by a figure, even the very plum broth and marrow of my understanding laid upon ye? And you do still cry, where, and how, and wherefore? Oh, you must, of course, freeze capacities, you jave judgments. Have I said thus let be, and there let be, and then let be, and no man understand me? Prob diem medius fidius. Ye are all dunces! For why, here stand I, here the Duke comes, they are you close in the thicket. The Duke appears, I meet him, and unto him I utter learned things, and many figures he hears, and nods and hums, and then cries rare, and I go forward at length, I fling my cap up, mark there, then do you, as once did Meleager and the boar, break comely out before him, like true lovers, cast yourselves in a body decently and sweetly by a figure, trace and turn, boys.
And sweetly we'll do it, Master Gerald.
Somebody take Simone, are you still there if you want to do 2, or and Bill, if you could take Tabor.
Okay, do you want,
I got it. I got Tabor.
All right, so I'm wrench 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
Drop
be
the
the
company.
Kinsman.
Where's the taborer?
3.
Drop the company. Where's the
Here,
laborer?
my boys, have at ye.
But I say, where's their women?
Here's Fritz and Magdalene.
And little Luce with the white legs and bouncing.
And freckled Nell that never failed her master.
Where be your ribbons, maids? Swim with your bodies and carry it sweetly and deliverly, and now and then a favor and a frisk.
Let us alone, sir.
Where's the rest of the music?
Dispersed as you commanded.
Well, couple then and see what's wanting. Where's the Bavian? My friend, carry your talk without offense or scandal to the ladies, and be sure you tumble with audacity and manhood, and when you bark, do it with judgment.
Yes, sir.
Quo usque totum. Here is a woman wanting.
We may go whistle all the fats 'Tis fire.
We have, as learned authors utter, washed a tile. We have been foutus and labored vainly.
That is what scornful peace and that scurvy Hyadlin that gave her promise faithfully she would be here. Slicely the Sumter's daughter, the next gloves that I give her shall be dogskin. Nay, and she failed me once. You can tell Arcas, she swore by wine and bread, and she will not break.
An eel and woman, a learned poet says, unless by the tail and with thy teeth thou holdst, will either fail in manners. Well, this was a false position.
A fire will take her. Does she flinch now? What shall we determine, sir? What shall we determine, sir?
Nothing. Our business becomes a nullity. Yea, and a woeful and a piteous nullity.
Now, when the credit of our town lay on it, now be the frappo now to piss off, oh, the nettle. Go thy way, I'll remember thee, I'll fit thee.
Enter jailer's daughter.
The Georgia Low come from the south, from the coast of Barbary, and there he met with brave gallants of war, by one, by two, by three, well held, you jolly gallants. Cheering stools out. And whither now are you abound? Oh, let me have your company till it come to the sound. There was three fools, fell out about a howlet. The one said it was an owl, the other he said nay. The third, he said it was a hawk, and her bells were cut away.
There's the dainty madwoman, mister, comes at the nick as mad as a March hare. If we can get her dance, we are made again. I warned her she'll do the rarest gambols.
A mad woman? We are made boys.
Are you mad, good woman?
I will be sorry else. Give me your hand.
Why?
I can tell your fortune. You are a fool. Tell 10, I have posed him. Buzz, friend, you must eat no white bread. If you do, your teeth will bleed extremely. Shall we dance, ho? I know you're a tinker. Sarah, a tinker, stop no more holes but what you should.
Bone, a tinker, damsel?
Or a conjurer. Raise me a devil now and let him play Pipasa, or the bells and bones.
Go, take her and fluently persuade her to a peace. Et opus exigi quam nec Jovis ira nec ignis. Well, strike up and lead her in.
Come, lass, let's trip it.
I'll lead.
Wind horns. Do persuasively and cunningly. Away, boys. Exeunt all but the schoolmaster. I hear the horns. Give me some meditation, and mark you cure Pallas, inspire me. Enter Theseus, Periplus, Hippolyta, Amelia, Arcite, and train. This
way the stag took.
Stay and edify.
What have we here?
Some country sport, upon my life, sir.
Well, sir, go forward, we will edify. Lady, sit down, we'll say. Thou doughty duke, all hail, sweet ladies.
This is a cold beginning.
If you but favor, our country pastime made is. We are a few of those collected here, that ruder tongues distinguish villager, and to say verite and not to fable, we are a merry rout, or else a rabble. Or company, or by a figure chorus, that for thy dignitary will dance a morris. And I am that rectifier of all, by title Pedagogus, that let fall the birch upon the breeches of the small ones, and humble with a ferula the tall ones. Do we here present this machine or this frame and dainty duke, whose doughty dismal fame from dis to Daedalus, from post to pillar is blown abroad. Help me, thy poor well-willer, and with thy twinkling eyes look right and straight upon this mighty more of mickle weight is now come, which being glued together mark Morris. And the cause that we came hither, the body of our sport, no small study, if it appear though rude and raw and muddy, to speak before thy noble grace this tenor. At those great feet I offer up my penner. The next the Lord May and Lady Bright, the chamberman and chambermaid and serving man by night, that seek out silent hanging. Then mine host and his fat spouse that welcomes to their cost the galled traveler, and with a beckoning inspires the tapster to inflame the reckoning. Then the beast-eating clown, and next the fool, the babian with a long tail and eke long tool. Come multis alice, and make a dance, say I, and all shall presently advance.
Aye, aye, by any means, dear Dominie.
Oh,
Produce.
music, dance. In Patrae Fiji, come forth and foot it. Knock for the school, enter the dance. Ladies, if we have been merry and pleased you with a dairy, and say a dairy and a down, say the cool schoolmaster's no clown. Duke, if we have pleased 3-2 and have done as good boys should do, give us but a tree or twain for a maypole, and again, ere another year run out, we'll make thee laugh and all this rout.
Take 20. Dominie, how does my sweetheart?
Never so pleased, sir.
It was an excellent dance, and for a preface, I never heard it better.
Schoolmaster, I thank you. One seam, all rewarded.
And here's something to paint your pole withal.
Now, to our sports again.
May the stag thou hunt stand long, and thy dogs be swift and strong. May they kill him without lets, and let the ladies eat dowsets. Come, we are all made. Wind horns, diach omnes. Ye have danced rarely, wenches. Exeunt. And we will now take our break here at this point.
Paul,
So it's that will be starting at 3 again. Yes.
Paul, am I getting static all the time?
Not all the time. It's interesting. It seems like usually at the beginning of the scenes, it sounds good. And then as it gets on, then we're getting a little staticky. Are other people hearing that as well with David's?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
I've been hearing it.
This better?
Now it's okay.
Yeah, now it's okay. But it's
Right.
what's weird is that it goes in and out, and that it's usually, and
All
I
right.
think it's right. It's at the
Staticky.
beginning of the scene.
It's almost like the microphone's overloading.
Well, I don't know that I can do anything about it. I don't know.
Well, let's see. Just go over to like the microphone thing and click on the one there where you mute yourself. and
Yeah, but I'm using my phone and I don't have all that stuff.
Okay. It's on your phone then. Huh. Let me
So I was using an ear set with a microphone. Is this better?
Yeah, it sounds good now. I think this sounds
It
good.
took me. It may be the connection. You know, I thought so. Maybe I'll try it without that.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm hearing less. Yeah, I think that sounded better now.
Sounds
So
good
this-
now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then I'll. I think it has to do with the headset that I was using. With it has a microphone. All right.
Yeah. So I see you've trimmed somewhat. It looks nice.
I did. Like I said, I decided it was okay for Faustus or Faustus or whatever. But it was a bit too long and shaggy. Finally,
Yeah.
I got.
I cut off my lockdown hair and got back to something a bit more presentable.
Yeah, well, just 2 days ago, my beard was like down to here.
Oh,
Yes, you can see it if you check on our Instant Shakespeare Company YouTube channel, our reading of Dr. Faustus, I think.
Uh-huh.
So, Angus, how do you say the name Dr. Faustus?
Faust.
I would say Dr. Faustus,
Faustus, yes.
but it's, I'm from Scotland. You don't count. We have strange pronunciations,
No. Well, I think that's how we would pronounce it. But the person who put together our reading is English, and he said it's Faustus,
I think.
Faustus. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. Well, it could be. The trouble is, I get very confused because from 85 till relatively recently. I was living in the States, and I get very, very confused about pronunciations. My grandchildren here in London say Z instead of Z, you know, so it all gets very difficult.
Z instead of Z.
This one is a real problem. You can almost hit text and realize it's not Shakespeare because it's a bugger to say. It doesn't flow like Will's stuff does.
Angus, where are you from in Scotland?
I was born and grew up in Edinburgh.
Oh, lovely city. Oh, I loved it.
I missed it for a long time.
Love to go.
I was there in 2013 for the Fringe. I was there for 6 weeks in Edinburgh.
Oh, I grew up with the Fringe. It was, you know, doing shows there. It was great.
Oh, it was fabulous. Very crowded.
I remember eating the British version of hot dogs at the Fringe Club one night and ended up being very ill for 3 days.
Well, I was excited to try haggis because I've heard.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard Americans talk about it, and it makes it sound so awful. But we have something here called scrapple or liver pudding down in North Carolina. It's essentially the same thing.
And there's I discovered my first time over in the States. I was in Georgia, and a couple came back from a time in Iran, and they cooked an Iranian native dish, and it was exactly the same. It was the bits of the sheep that you couldn't normally do as steaks or you know, meat, and whatever grain there was that they used, and it tasted exactly the same.
Yeah, when we actually used to have to eat all of the meat, you know, and really deal with the things. And now we've become so sort of separated where all of the things are done. In fact, everything's slaughtered. We get
Angus, my favorite was black pud.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What is that?
Black pud and eggs sunny side up.
What's black
Well,
pud?
what I missed down here is the fish and chip shops just cook fish and chips, very little else. Whereas when I grew up, they would deep fry haggis, they would deep fry black puddings and white puddings and all that stuff in. So when we came out the pub at about 11 o'clock at night, the fat and the lard was really flavorful, and the fish and chips tasted gorgeous.
Oh,
and I miss that.
I actually I got at a fish and chip shop once, not only fish and chips, but a deep fried Mars bar.
Oh, now that came out of Glasgow, the other side of the country. We don't talk about them. They're
yeah. Well, I mean, I think one of the things that I've just actually as a question, since a lot of us Americans don't know what it is. What exactly do you mean by black pudding? What's a black pudding?
Oh, you don't.
The black pudding is it's a blood-based pudding.
Oh.
And basically it looks like a sausage.
Yeah,
like a blood sausage. In a sense.
Yeah, it's a blood sausage. Yeah, that's right.
Oh.
Wait a minute.
It's a Scottish version of.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I really sort of also appreciate about the Scottish accent is that I think it's a lot closer to probably what Shakespeare actually talked. I mean, in terms of original pronunciation, that I mean, I think that actually some of the more ethnic dialects, I mean, like, well, Scottish and Irish and even Cockney and things have more of sort of still the flavor of this original pronunciation. And I just want to sort of say at some point, I'll probably try and do it with like more notice that we'll try and do a reading. I want to try and encourage doing readings with original pronunciation. Because it's really great. You should check out on YouTube, if you haven't seen them already, David and Ben Crystal's videos on original pronunciation. Ben Crystal, I mean, they've done a tremendous amount in terms of doing it, and it makes a lot of sense. And then like these rhymes actually rhyme as I'm doing the schoolmaster and making all of these horrible things. Rhymes looking really bad because they don't rhyme in modern English. So
well, I think I mentioned a couple of meetings ago that when you hit a line in Shakespeare and it doesn't scan properly, it's probably because we're using modern pronunciation. That if you could work out what the original Elizabethan pronunciation of the words were, you'd suddenly find that with the additional vowels and consonants that were put in, particularly the vowels, it would all scan again.
Yeah.
But Scots, we have the advantage that we have sounds that we use in normal language, which don't exist in England. And Wales add a couple more, the double L, the sound. So they've got a couple more that you can get in. And they give us, there was one point, the BBC was using newsreaders from Aberdeen, which is supposedly the purest form of English.
Aberdeen.
Because we hit all the vowels, all the consonants, and all the additional sounds. They always say of England, that if somebody talks about Wales, you can't tell whether they're talking about a country or the marine mammal. Whereas in Scotland, there is a complete distinction between Wales and Wales.
Yes.
We use the wh sound, we use the ch sound, and those clarify a lot of things.
Yeah, so I think the sort of trend in sort of modern things, especially with American, is to make it as simple and easy and sort of the same as possible. And it's great to get back to these texts where you really see that there's a variety that is available to us that we're just neglecting. But anyways, enough with this. Let's get back to the show. And now,
what page are we on?
81.
81.
81.
Act 3.
81. Got it.
Yes, and actually, before we
81.
Yes, one of the things that I also just want to talk about is that Patrick Tucker, who also does original practices, I don't know if he did much about original pronunciation, but one of the things he talks about is like into the fifth act to have like fifth act speed to keep the text moving as quickly as possible, because it's only like a discovery for the people on stage in most plays, because everybody who's watching it already knows it. So I just think that that's another thing in terms of with this density of language that sometimes as we get to the end, it's tired, but by when we get to Act 5, just think about that and just to try and keep it moving along.
Yeah. Paul, did you say 81 or 101?
81. 81.
Okay. Oh boy, because I'm.
Yeah, that's and also I was also for those of us who've done theater outdoors, you get to the point rain speed, you know, when you've gotten through most of the day and it's starting to rain, you want to get to before the end.
Rain speed.
I was one of the first people ever involved in a Shakespeare outdoors in Norwich, and doing Much Ado with the Rain coming down was quite something. We thought the audience would leave. They didn't. They put up their umbrellas and put their Macintoshes over their head, and we realized we just had to keep going. And if we were going to get wet, tough shit. That's how we did it.
That's it after that.
It took 2 days for my costume to dry out.
Yes, I've heard similar things in Seattle as well, because it rains there all the time. So if you're doing it, we're ready for the rain, you guys.
Yeah.
We're fine.
All righty. So anyways then, okay. Cena 7-6, enter Palamon from the bush.
About this hour, my cousin gave his faith to visit me again, and with him bring 2 swords and 2 good armors. If he fail.
Pause. I'm sorry, David. Let's just pause, because suddenly your sound is sounding like staticky again.
You distorted it again.
It would change, because it was fine while we were talking.
I didn't change anything.
Okay. All right, now it sounds okay again. I'm sorry.
No, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It may be that it's going over the. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Can you turn your microphone down a little bit, David?
Away?
No, my microphone. I could. Well, no, I can't. I'm using my phone.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, because yeah, goes in and out, and now it was, yeah. Let me just see. Yeah, if you can't get to the things, I can't do. Anyways, all right, sorry. Let's begin again. Enter, and now we'll begin our second half. Enter Palamon from the bush.
About this hour, my cousin gave his faith to visit me again, and with him bring 2 swords and 2 good armors. If he fail, he's neither man nor soldier. When he left me, I did not think a week could have restored my lost strength to me. I was grown so low and crestfallen with my wants. I thank thee, Arcity, thou art yet a fair foe, and I feel myself with this refreshing able once again to outendure danger. To delay it longer would make the world think when it comes to hearing that I lay fatting like a swine to fight and not a soldier. Therefore this blessed morning shall be the last, and that sword he refutes, if it but hold, I kill him with. 'Tis justice. So love and fortune for me. Oh, good tomorrow.
Yeah, hi.
Oh, good tomorrow.
I'm doing a play reading right now. We're doing a play reading online, a Shakespeare play.
Yourself, Mark, when you're not on. Enter Arcity with armors and swords.
Tomorrow, noble kinsman. Good morrow.
I have put you to too much pain, sir.
That's too much fare, cousin. Is but a debt to honor and my duty.
Would you were so in all, sir? I could wish ye as kind a kinsman as you force me find a beneficial foe, and that my embraces might thank ye, not my blows.
I shall think either well done or a noble recompense.
Then I shall quit you.
Defy me in these fair terms, and you show more than a mistress to me. No more anger, as you love anything that's honorable. We were not bred to talk, man, and we were armed and both upon our guards. And let our fury, like meetings of 2 tides, fly strongly from us, and then to whom the birthright of this beauty truly pertains, without upbraidings, scorns, despisings of our persons, and much poutings, fitter or for girls or schoolboys. You'll be seen, and quickly, yours or mine. Wilt please you arm, sir? Or if you feel yourself not fitting yet, when furnished with your old strength, I'll stay, cousin, and every day discourse you into health, as I'm spared your person I am friends with, and I could wish I had not said I loved her, though I had did. But loving such a lady and justifying my love, I must not fly from it.
Arcity, thou art so brave an enemy that no man but thy cousin's fit to kill thee. I am well and lusty. Choose your arms.
Choose you, sir.
Wilt thou exceed in all, or dost thou do it to make me spare thee?
If you think so, cousin, you are deceived, for as I am a soldier, I will not spare you.
Oh, that's well said.
You'll find it.
Then as I am an honest man and love, with all the justice of affection, I'll pay thee soundly. This I'll take.
'Tis mine then. I'll arm you first.
Do. Pray thee, tell me, cousin, where goest thou this good armor?
'Tis the Duke's. And to say true, I stole it. Do I fit you?
No.
It's not too heavy?
Oh, I have worn the lighter, but I shall make it serve.
I'll buckle it close.
By any means.
You care not for a grand guard?
No, we'll use no horses. I perceive you would fain be at that fight.
I'm indifferent.
Faith, so am I. Good cousin. Thrust the buckle through far enough.
I warned you.
My casket now.
Will you fight bare-armed?
We shall be the nimbler.
Use gauntlets, though. Those are the least. Prithee, take mine good, cousin.
Thank you, Arcity. So how do I look? Am I fallen much away?
Faith, very little. Love has used you kindly.
I'll warrant thee, I'll strike home.
Do, and spare not. I'll give you cause, sweet cousin.
Now to you, sir. Methinks this armor is very like that Arcity. Thou worst the day that day the three kings fell, but lighter.
That was a very good one. And that day I well remember you outdid me, cousin, and I never saw such valor. When you charged upon the left wing of the enemy, I spurred hard to come up, and under me I had a right good horse.
You had indeed a right way, I remember.
Yes, but all was vainly labored in me. You outwent me, nor could my wishes reach you. Yet a little I did by imitation.
No, more by virtue. You are modest, cousin.
When I saw you charge first, methought I heard a dreadful clap of thunder break from the troop.
But still before that flew the lightning of your valor. Stay a little. Is not this piece too straight?
No, 'tis well.
I would have nothing hurt thee but my sword. A bruise would be dishonor.
Now I am perfect.
Stand off then.
Take my sword. I hold it better.
I thank ye. No, keep it. Your life lies on it. Here's one, if it but hold, I ask no more, for all my hopes. My cause and honor guard me.
And me, my love. Is there aught else to say?
They bow several ways, then advance and stand.
This only and no more. Thou art mine aunt's son, and that blood we desire to shed is mutual. In me, thine, and in thee, mine. My sword is in my hand, and if thou killst me, the gods and I forgive thee. If there be a place prepared for those that sleep in honor, I wish his weary soul that falls may win it. Fight bravely, cousin. Give me thy noble hand.
Here, Palamon. This hand shall never more come near thee with such friendship.
I commend thee.
If I fall, curse me, and say I was a coward, for none but such dare die in these just trials. Once more, farewell, my cousin.
Farewell, Arcity.
Horns, and they stand. Torn
No, cousin.
white, horns within, they stand.
No, cousin, no. Our folly has undone us.
Why?
This is the Duke. A hunting, as I told you. If we be found, we are wretched. Oh, retire for honor's sake, and safely presently into your bush again. Sir, we shall find too many hours to die in. Gentle cousin, if you be seen, you perish instantly for breaking prison, and I, if you reveal me for my contempt, then all the world will scorn us, and say we had a noble difference, but base disposers of it.
No, cousin. I will no more be hidden nor put off this great adventure to a second trial. I know your cunning, and I know your cause. He that faints now, shame take him. Put thyself upon thy present guard.
You are not mad.
Or I will make the advantage of this hour mine own, and what to come shall threaten me I fear less than my fortune. No, weak cousin, I love Amelia, and in that I'll bury thee and all crosses else.
And come, what can come thou shalt know, Palamon. I dare as well die as discourse or sleep. Only this fears me. The law will have the honor of our ends. Have at thy life.
Look to thine own. Well, Arcite.
Fight again. Horns. Enter Theseus, Hippolytus, Emilia, Pirithous, and Train.
What ignorant and mad, malicious traitors are you, that against the tenor of my laws are making battle, thus like knights appointed without my leave, and officers of arms. By Castor both shall die.
Hold thy word, Theseus. We are certainly both traitors, both despisers of thee and of thy goodness. I am Palamon, that cannot love thee, he that broke thy prison. Think well what that deserves. And this is Arcity. A bolder traitor never trod thy ground, a falser never seemed friend. This is the man was begged and banished. This is he condemns thee, and what thou darest do. And in this disguise, against this own edict, follows thy sister, that fortunate bright star, the fair Amelia, whose servant, if there be a right in seeing, and first bequeathing of the soul to, justly I am, and which is more, dares think her his. This treachery, like a most trusty lover, I called him now to answer. If thou beest as thou art spoken, great and virtuous, a true decider of all injuries, say, fight again, and thou shalt see me, Theseus, do such a justice as thou thyself wilt envy. Then take my life. I'll woo thee to it.
Oh, heaven, what more than man is this?
I have sworn.
Seek not thy breath of mercy, Theseus. 'Tis to me a thing as soon to die as thee to say it, and no more moved. Where this man calls me traitor, let me say thus much. If in love be treason, in service of so excellent a beauty as I love most, and in that faith will perish, as I have brought my life here to confirm it, as I have served her truest, worthiest, as I dare kill this cousin that denies it, so let me be most traitor, and ye please me. For scorning thy edict, Duke, ask that lady why she is fair, and why her eyes command me to stay here to love her. And if they say, traitor, I am a villain fit to lie unburied.
Thou shalt have pity of us both, O Theseus, if unto neither thou showest mercy. Stop, as thou art just, thy noble ear against us. As thou art valiant for thy cousin's soul, whose 12 strong labors crown his memory, let's die together at one instant, Duke. Only a little let him fall before me, that I may tell my soul he shall not have her.
I grant your wish. For to say true, your cousin hath 10 times more offended. For I gave him more mercy than you found, sir, your offences being no more than his. None here speaks for him, for ere the sun set, both shall sleep forever.
Alas, the pity. Now or never, sister, speak not to be denied. That face of yours will bear the curses else of after ages for these lost cousins.
In my face, dear sister, I find no anger to them, no ruin. The misadventure of their own eyes kills them. Yet that I will be woman and have pity, my knees shall grow to the ground, but I'll get mercy. Help, my dear sister, in a deed so virtuous, the power of all women will be with us. Most royal brother.
By our tie of marriage?
By your own spotless honor.
By that faith, that fair hand, and that honest heart you gave me?
By that you would have pity in another, by your own virtues infinite.
By valor, by all the chaste knights I have ever pleased you.
These are strange conjurings.
Nay, then I'll in too. By all our friendships, sir, by all our dangers, by all you love most, wars, and this sweet lady.
By that you would have trembled to deny a blushing maid.
By your own eyes, by strength in which you swore I went beyond all women, almost all men, and yet I yielded, Theseus.
To crown all this, by your most noble soul, which cannot want due mercy, I beg first.
Next, hear my prayers.
Last, let me entreat, sir.
For mercy.
Mercy?
Mercy on these princes.
You make my faith real. Say I felt compassion to them both. How would you place it?
Upon their lives, but with their banishments.
You are a right woman, sister. You have pity. but want the understanding where to use it. If you desire their lives, invent a way safer than banishment. Can these two live and have the agony of love about them and not kill one another? Every day they'd fight about you. Hourly bring your honor in public question with their swords. Be wise then, and here forget 'em. It concerns your credit and my oath equally. I have said they'd die. Better they fall by the law than one another. Bow not my honor.
My noble brother, that oath was rashly made, and in your anger, your reason will not hold it if such vows stand for express will. All the world must perish. Besides, I have another oath against yours of more authority. I am sure more love, not made in passion neither, but good heed.
What is it, sister?
Urge it home, brave lady.
That you would never deny me anything fit for my modest suit and your free granting. I tie you to your word now. If ye fall in it, think how you maim your honor. For now I am set a begging, sir, I am deaf to all but your compassion. How their lives might breed the ruin of my name. Opinion, shall anything that loves me perish for me? That were a cruel wisdom. Do men broil the straight young boughs that blush with thousand blossoms because they may be rotten? Oh, Duke Theseus, the goodly mothers that have groaned for thee, and all the longing maids that ever loved, if your vows stand, shall curse me in my beauty and in their funeral songs for these two cousins despite my cruelty, and cry woe worth me till I am nothing but the scorn of women. For heaven's sake, save their lives and banish them.
What conditions?
Swear 'em never more to make me their contention, or to know me, to tread upon thy dukedom, and to be wherever they shall travel ever strangers to one another.
I'll be cut to pieces before I take this oath. Forget I love her? Oh, all ye gods, despise me then. Thy banishment I not mislike, so we may fairly carry our swords and cause along. Else never trifle, but take our lives, Duke. I must love and will, and for that love must and dare kill this cousin on any peace the earth has.
Well, you are seated, take these conditions.
He's a villain then.
These are men.
No, never, Duke. 'Tis worse to me than begging to take my life so basely. Though I think I never shall enjoy her, yet I'll preserve the honor of affection and die for her, make death a devil.
What may be done? For now, I feel compassion.
Let it not fall again, sir.
Say, Emilia, if one of them were dead, as must, are you content to take the other to your husband? They cannot both enjoy you. They are princes, as goodly as your own eyes, and as noble as ever fame yet spoke of. Look upon them, and if you can love, end this difference. I give consent. Are you content too, princes?
With all our
souls.
He that refuses must die then.
Any death thou canst invent, Duke.
Thou can consent. Invent.
If
Duke.
I fall from that mouth, I fall with favor, and lovers yet unborn shall bless my ashes.
If she refuse me, yet my grave will wed me, and soldiers sing my epitaph.
Make choice then.
Cannot, sir. They're both too excellent for me. A hair shall never fall of these men.
What will become of them?
Thus I ordain it. By mine honor once again it stands, or both shall die. You shall both to your country, and each within this month, accompanied with 3 fair knights, appear again in this place, in which I'll plant a pyramid. And whether before us that are there can force his chosen by fair and knightly strength to touch the pillar, he shall enjoy her. The other lose his head and all his friends, nor shall he grudge to fall, nor think he dies with interest in this lady. Will this content ye?
Yes. Here, cousin Arcity, I am friends again till that hour.
I embrace thee.
Are you content, sister?
Yes, I must, sir, else both miscarry.
Come shake hands again then, and take heed, as you are gentlemen, this quarrel sleep shall the hour prefixed and hold your course.
We dare not fail thee, Theseus.
Come, I'll give ye now usage like to princes and to friends. When you return, who wins I'll settle here, who loses, yet I'll weep upon his bier.
Exeunt. Actus Quartus. Scene 1. Enter jailer and his friend. Jailer, Joey, are you
Yes,
there?
I'm trying to hear you no more. Was nothing side of me concerning the escape of Palamon? Good sir, remember.
Oops, sorry. Sorry. Hang on.
Uh,
Hold
nothing.
on. Pause just a moment. I'm just, I think I may have like not let you people get on with the, because it's a jailer and his friend. Joe, can you try? Great. Thank you.
Okay.
And Mary Lou, I think you need to turn yours back on because I turned it off because it was on before. And okay, great. Actus Quartus, Scene 1, enter jailer and his friend.
Hear you no more. Was nothing said of me concerning the escape of Palamon? Good sir, remember.
What
Nothing that I heard.
page? What page?
98.
98. Yeah.
98?
Yes. Enter Actus Quartus, Scene 1. Enter jailer and his friend.
Hear you no more. Was nothing said of me concerning the escape of Palamon? Good sir, remember.
All right, Mary Lou, you'll be second friend now when you find it. We're on 98.
I'm almost there.
Came here before the business was fully ended. You can just take over from me whenever you get here. Yet I might perceive ere I departed a great likelihood of both their patrons, for Hippolyta and fair-eyed Emily upon their knees begged with such handsome pity that the Duke methought stood staggering whether he should follow his rash oath or the sweet compassion of these two ladies, and to second them the truly noble Prince Pirithous hath his own heart set in it too, and I hope all shall be well. Neither heard I one question of your name or his scape. Enter second friend. We're at the top of 99 now. Mary Lou, are you there?
Okay, I am on page 98.
Okay, we're at
right?
the top of 99 now.
Okay. Shoot.
Okay. So it's enter second friend. And
I've got it on page 98.
yeah, we're just at the bottom.
Oh.
Yeah, and enter second friend, top of 99. Jailer, you're still there. Where'd you go, Joey?
Okay, I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah. So you're just on pray heaven it hold so. At the top of 99.
Oh, okay. Pray heaven it holds so.
Okay, my page 98. I'm sorry, it has,
I'm just gonna have to read it. I'll just read it.
Be of good comfort, man. I bring you news, good news.
They are welcome.
Palamon has cleared you and got your pardon and discovered how and by whose means he escaped, which was your daughter's, whose pardon is procured too. And the prisoner, not to be held ungrateful to her goodness, hath given a sum of money to her marriage, a large one, I'll assure you.
Ye are a good man and ever bring good news.
How was it ended?
Why, as it should be. They that never begged, but they prevailed, had their sweets fairly granted, the prisoners have their lives.
I knew 'twould be so.
But there be new conditions which you'll hear of at better time.
I hope they are good.
Are they are honourable. How good they'll prove, I know not.
Enter Wooer. 'Twill be known. Wooer, Anton, are you there? And top of page 100. Wooer. Anton, top of page 100, or else someone else want to step in?
I got it. I was on mute.
Oh,
Alas, sir, where's your daughter?
Why do you ask?
Oh, sir, when did you see her?
How he looks.
This morning.
Was she well? Was she in health? Sir, when did she sleep?
These are strange questions.
I do not think she is very well. For now, you make me mind her. But this very day I asked her questions and she answered me. So fair from that what she was, so childishly, so silly, and if she were a fool and innocent, and I was very angry. But what of her, sir?
Okay.
What of her, sir?
Nothing but my pity, but you must know it, and as good by me as by an other that less loves her.
Well, sir?
Not right?
Not well.
No, sir, not well. 'Tis too true she is mad.
Oh, it cannot be.
Believe you'll find it so.
I have suspected what you told me. The gods comfort her. Either this was her love to Palamon or fear of my miscarrying on his scape, or both.
'Tis likely.
But why all this haste, sir?
I'll tell you quickly. As I late was angling in the great lake that lies behind the palace, from the far shore, thick set with reeds and sedges, as patiently I was attending sport, I heard a voice, a shrill one, and attentive I gave my ear, when I might well perceive 'twas one that sung, and by the smallness of it, a boy or woman. I then left my angle to his own skill, came near, but yet perceived not who made the sound. The rushes and the reeds had so encompassed it. I laid me down and listened to the words she sung. For then, through a small glade cut by the fishermen, I saw it was your daughter.
Pray go on, sir.
She sung much, but no sense. Only I heard her repeat this often. Palamon is gone to the wood to gather mulberries. I'll find him out tomorrow.
Pretty soul.
His shackles will betray him. He'll be taken. And what shall I do then? I'll bring a bevy, 100 black-eyed maids that love as I do, with chaplets on their heads of daffodils, with cherry lips and cheeks of damask roses, and all will dance an antique for the Duke, and beg his pardon. Then she talked of you, sir, that you must lose your head tomorrow morning, and she must gather flowers to bury you, and see the house made handsome. Then she sung nothing but willow, 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 and between ether was Palamon, fair Palamon, and Palamon was a tall young man. The place was knee-deep where she sat, her careless tresses, a reek of bulrush rounded. About her stuck 1,000 fresh-water flowers of several colors, that me thought she appeared like the fair nymph that feeds the lake with waters, or as Iris nearly dropped down from heaven. Rings she made of rushes that grew by, and to 'em spoke the prettiest posies. Thus our true love's tied, this you may loose, not me, many a one. And then she wept, and sung again, and sighed, and with the same breath smiled, and kissed her hand.
Alas, what pity it is.
I made into her. She saw me, and straight sought the flood. I saved her, and set her safe to land, when presently she slipped away, and to the city made with such a cry, and swiftness, that, believe me, she left me far behind her. 3 or 4 I saw from far off cross her. One of them I knew to be your brother, where she stayed, and fell, scarce to be got away. I left them with her.
And her brother, daughter, and others.
And Heather came to tell you. Here they are.
The jailer's daughter. She's escaped again. I thought you had the jailer's daughter. Jennifer, are you with us? I've been trying. I'm your brother, jailer, and I've tried to get your daughter.
I can't start my video.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me, that's my bad again. Sorry. I think, yeah, sorry. All right, enter brother, daughter, and others. And they're come to tell you, here they are.
May you nevermore enjoy the light. Is not this a fine song?
Oh, a very fine one.
I can sing 20 more.
I think you can.
Yes, truly can I. I can sing the Broom and Bonnie Robin. Are not you a tailor?
Oh, yes, yes.
Where's your wedding gown?
I'll bring it tomorrow.
Dude, very rarely. I must be abroad, else to call the maids and pay the minstrels, for I must loose my maidenhead by cocklet. She'll never thrive else. Oh, fair, oh, sweet.
Oh, you must even take it patiently.
'Tis true.
Good even, good man. Pray, did you ever hear of one young Palamon?
Yes, wench, we know him.
Is not a fine young gentleman?
'Tis love.
By no means cross her. She then is distempered for worse than now she shows. Yes, he's a fine man.
Oh, is he so? You have a sister?
Oh, yes, yes.
But she shall never have him. Tell her so. For a trick that I know, you best look to her. For if she see him once, she's gone, she's done, and undone in an hour. All the young maids of our town are in love with him, but I laughed at him and let him all alone. Isn't that a wise course?
It's not a wise course. Yes.
There is at least 200 now with child by him. There must be 4. Yet I keep close for all this, close as a cockle. And all these must be boys. He has a trick on it, and at 10 years old, they must all be gut for musicians and sing the wars of Theseus.
This is strange.
Whatever you heard, but say nothing.
This is strange.
No.
They come from all parts of the dukedom to sing to him. I'll warrant you, he had not so few last night as 20 to dispatch. He'll tickled up in 2 hours if his hand be in.
She's lost, past all cure.
Heaven forbid, man.
Come hither, you are a wise man.
Does she know him? This is Mary Lou. You're supposed to be first friend. So top of 106, are you here?
Oh, okay. Does she know him?
And it's a weird thing where you have the
No, I would she. No, I would she did.
You're master of a ship?
Yes.
Where's your compass?
Here.
Set it to the north. And now direct your course to the wood where a Palamon lies longing for me. For the tackling, let me alone. Come, weigh my hearts cheerly.
Ho, 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 'tis up, the wind's fair, top the bowling with the mainsail. What's your whistle, master?
No.
Let's get her in.
Up to the top, boy.
Oh, where's the pilot? Here.
What canst thou?
Here, fair wood.
Therefore, master, take a bow. And Cynthia with her borrowed light,
etc. Sings exeunt. Enter Amelia alone with 2 pictures.
Yet I must bind these wounds up that must open and bleed to death for my sake, else I'll choose and end their strife. Two such young handsome men shall never fall for me. Their weeping mothers, following the dead cold ashes of their sons, shall never curse my cruelty. Good heaven, what a sweet face has our city. If wise nature with all her best endowments, all those beauties she sows into the births of noble bodies, were here a mortal woman, and had in her the coy denials of young maids, yet doubtless she would run mad for this man. What an eye! Oh, what a fury, sparkle, and quick sweetness has this young prince. Here love himself sits smiling, just such another wanton Ganymede. Set love afire with and enforce the gods, snatch up the goodly boy and set him by him, a shining constellation. What a brow! Of what a spacious majesty he carries, arched like the great-eyed Juno's, but far sweeter, smoother than Pelops' shoulder. Fame, methinks from hence, as from a promontory pointed in heaven, should clasp their wings and sing to all the underworld, the loves and fights of gods and such men near them. Palamon, but his foil. To him, a mere dull shadow. He's swarth and meager, of an eye as heavy as if he'd lost his mother, a still temper, no stirring in him, no alacrity. Of all this sprightly sharpness, not a smile. Yet these that we count errors may become him. Narcissus was a sad boy, but a heavenly. Oh, who can find the best of woman's fancy? I am a fool. My reason is lost in me. I have no choice, and I have lied so lewdly that women ought to beat me. On my knees I ask thy pardon, Palamon. Thou art alone, and only beautiful, and these the eyes, these the bright lamps of beauty that command and threaten love. And what young maid dare cross them with a bold gravity, and yet inviting, has this brown, manly face? Oh, love, this only from this hour is complexion. Lie there, Arcady. Thou art a changeling to him, a mere gypsy. And this the noble body. I am sotted, utterly lost. My virgin's faith hath fled me. For if my brother, but even now, had asked me whether I loved, I had run man for Arcady. Now if my sister, more for Palamon. Stand both together. Now come, ask me, brother. Alas, I know not. Ask me now, my sweet sister. I may go look. What a mere child is fancy, that having two fair gods of equal sweetness cannot distinguish, but must cry for both.
Enter Emily and Gent. Someone.
How now, sir?
From the noble Duke, your brother. Madam, I bring you news. The knights are come.
To end the quarrel?
Yes.
Would I might end first. What sins have I committed, chaste Diana, that my unspotted youth must now be soiled with blood of princes? And my chastity be made the altar where the lives of lovers too greater and too better, never yet made mother's joy, must be the sacrifice to my unhappy beauty.
Enter Theseus, Hippolyta, Pirithous, and attendants.
I'm about to start reading. Bring him in quickly, by any means. I long to see them. You two contending lovers are returned, and with them their fair knight. Now, my fair sister, you must love one of them.
I had rather both, so neither for my sake shall fall untimely.
Who saw him?
I, a while.
And I.
From whence come you, sir?
From the knights.
Pray speak. You that have seen them, what are they?
I will, sir, and truly what I think, 6 braver spirits than they have brought, if we judge by the outside, I never saw nor read of. He that stands in the first place was Arcity. By his seeming should be a stout man, by his face a prince, his very looks to say him, his complexion nearer a brown than a black, stern and yet noble, which shows him hardy, fearless, proud of dangers. The circles of his eyes show fair within him, and as a heated lion, so he looks. His hair hangs long behind him, black and shining, like raven's wings. His shoulders broad and strong, armed long and round, and on his thigh a sword hung by a curious baldric, and he frowns to seal his will with, better of my conscience, was never soldier's friend.
Thou hast well described him.
Yet a great deal short, methinks, of him that's first with Palamon.
Pray speak him, friend.
I guess he is a prince too, and if it may be, greater, for his show has all of the ornament of honor in it. He's somewhat bigger than the knight he spoke of, but of a face far sweeter. His complexion is as a ripe grape, ruddy, He has felt without doubt what he fights for, and so apter to make this cause his own. In's face appears all the fair hopes of what he undertakes. And when he's angry, then a settled valor, not tainted with extremes, runs through his body and guides his arm to brave things. Fear he cannot. He shows no soft temper. His head's yellow, hard-haired, and curled thick, twined like ivory tops. Not to undo with thunder. In his face, the livery of the warlord maid appears, pure red and white, for yet no beard has blessed him. And in his rowling eyes sits victory, as if she ever meant to correct his valor. His nose stands high, a character of honor. His red lips after fights are fit for ladies.
But must these men die too?
When he speaks, his tongue sounds like a trumpet. All his lineaments are as a man would wish 'em, strong and clean. He wears a well-steeled axe, the staff of gold, his age some 25.
Oh, there's another, a little man, but a tough soul, seeming as great as any, fairer promises in such a body, yet I never looked on.
Oh, he that's freckle-faced?
Oh, the same, my lord. Are they not sweet ones?
Yes, they are well.
Methinks, being so few and well disposed, they show great and fine art in nature. He's white-haired, and not wanton white, but such a manly color, next to an upborn acorn, tough and nimble set, which shows an active soul. His arms are brawny, lined with strong sinews. To the shoulder piece gently they swell, like women conceived, which speaks him prone to labor, never fainting under the weight of arms, stout-hearted still, but when he stirs a tiger, he's gray-eyed, which yields compassion where he conquers, sharp to spy advantages, and where he finds him, he's swift to take him. He does no wrongs, he takes none, he's round-faced, and when he smiles, he shows a lover, and when he frowns, a soldier. In his head, he wears his winner's oak, and in it stuck the favor of his lady, his age some 36. In his hand, he bears a charging staff, embossed with silver.
Are they all thus?
They are all sons of honor.
Now, as I have a soul, I long to see him. Lady, you shall see men fight now.
Hippolyta?
Oh, wait a second, I lost my place. I wish it, but not the cause, my lord. They would show bravely about the titles of 2 kingdoms. 'Tis pity love should be so tyrannous. Oh, my soft-hearted sister, what think you? Oh, weep not till they weep blood. Wench it must be.
You have steeled him with your beauty, honored friend. To you I give the field. Pray order it, fitting the persons that must use it.
Yes, sir.
Come, I'll go visit him. I cannot stay, their fame hath fired me so till they appear. Good friend, be royal.
There shall want no bravery.
Oh, wench, go weep. For whosoever wins loses a noble cousin for thy sins.
Exeunt. Enter jailer, wooer, doctor.
I'm sorry, what page? Oh. Sorry about that. What page?
Top of
115.
115. Sorry.
Hey,
All right, got it. Okay. She is continually.
No,
The
wait.
distraction is more at some time of the moon than at some other, is it not?
She is continually in a harmless distemper, sleeps little, altogether without appetite, save often drinking, dreaming of another world, and a better and what broken piece of matter soe'er she's about, the name Palamon lards it, that she farces every business.
Enter daughter.
Withal, fits it to every question. Look, where she comes, you shall perceive her behavior.
For got it quite. The burden on it was Downa, and Penman no worse man than Geraldo, Amelia's schoolmaster. It is fantastical too, as ever he may go upon his legs, for in the next world will Dido see Palamon. Then she'll be out of love with Aeneas.
What stuff's here, poor soul?
Even thus, all day long.
Now, for this charm that I told you of, you must bring a piece of silver on the tip of your tongue, or no ferret. Then, if it be your chance to come where the blessed spirits are, there's a sight now, it means that have our livers perished. Crack the pieces with love. We shall come there and do nothing all day long but pick flowers of Proserpine. Then will I make Palamon a nosegay. Then let him mark me then.
How prettily she's amiss. Note her a little further.
Faith, I'll tell you, sometime we go to Barley Break. We of the blessed. Alas, 'tis a sore life they have in the other place. Such burning, frying, boiling, hissing, howling, chattering, cursing. Oh, they have shroud measure. Take heed. If one be mad or hang or drown themselves, whither they go? Jupiter bless us. And there shall we be putting a cauldron of lead and usurer's grease amongst a whole million of cut purses. And they're boiled like a gammon of bacon. That will never be enough.
How her brain coins.
Lords and courtiers that have got maids with child, they are in this place. They shall stand up and fire up to the navel, and an ice up to the heart. And there the offending part burns, and the deceiving part freezes. In truth, a very grievous punishment, as one would think for such a trifle. Believe me, one will marry such a leprous witch to be rid on it, I'll assure you.
How she continues this fancy. 'Tis not an engraft madness, but a most thick and profound melancholy.
Here there, a proud lady and a proud city wife howl together. I were a beast, and it'll call good sport. One cries this smoke, and another this fire. One cries, oh, that I ever did, but here behind the arras, and then howls. The other curses a sewing fellow in a garden house. My stars, my fate, etc.
What think you of her, sir?
I think she has a perturbed mind which I cannot minister to.
Alas, what then?
Understand you, she ever affected any man ere she beheld Palamon?
I was once, sir, in great hope. She had fixed her liking on this gentleman, my friend.
I did think so too, and would account I had a great penworth on't to give half my state, that both she and I at this present stood unfeignedly on the same terms.
That intemperate surfeit of her eye hath distempered the other senses. They may return and settle again to execute their preordained faculties, but they are now in a most extravagant variegae. This you must do. Confine her to a place where the light may rather seem to steal in than be permitted. Take upon you, young sir, her friend, the name of Palamon. Say you come to eat with her and to commune of love. This will catch her attention, for this her mind beats upon. Other objects that are inserted between her mind and I become the pranks and friskings of her madness. Sing to her such green songs of love, as she says Palamon hath sung in prison. Come to her stuck in as sweet flowers as the season is mistress of, and thereto make an addition of some other compounded odors which are grateful to the sense. All this shall become Palamon, for Palamon can sing and Palamon is sweet, and everything good. Desire to eat with her, crave her, drink to her, and still among intermingle your petition of grace and acceptance into her favor. Learn what maids have been her companions and playfellows, and let them repair to her with Palamon in their mouths, and appear with tokens, as if they suggested for him. It is a falsehood she is in, which is with falsehoods to be combated. This may bring her to eat, to sleep, and reduce what's now out of square in her into their former law and regiment. I have seen it approved, how many times I know not, but to make the number more, I have great hope in this. I will, between the passages of this project, come in with my appliances. Let us put it in execution and hasten the success, which doubt not will bring forth comfort.
Flourish, exeunt, actus quintus, and let us go to reign speed, act 5 speed, because I have another meeting at 4:15. So just as
Now let him enter, and before the gods tender their holy prayers. Let the temples burn bright with sacred fires, and the altars in hallowed clouds commend their swelling incense to those above us. Let no dew be wanting.
flourish of cornets.
They have a noble work in hand, will honor the very powers that love him.
Enter Palamon and Arcity with their knights. Sir, they enter.
You valiant and strong-hearted enemies, you royal German foes, that this day come to blow the nearness out that flames between you. Lay by your anger for an hour, and dove-like, before the holy altars of your helpers, the all-feared gods, how bow down your stubborn bodies. Your ire is more than mortal, so your help be. And as the gods regard you, fight the justice. I'll leave you to your prayers, and betwixt ye I part my wishes.
Honor crown the worthiest.
Exit Theseus and his train.
The glass is running now that cannot finish till one of us expire. Think you but thus, that were there aught in me which strove to show mine enemy in this business, were it one eye against the other, arm oppressed by arm, I would destroy the offender, 'cause I would, though partial of myself, then from this gather how I should tender you.
I'm in labor to push your name, your ancient love, our kindred, out of my memory, and in the self-same place to seat something I would confound. So hoist we the sails that must these vessels port, even where the heavenly limiter pleases.
You speak well. Before I turn, let me embrace thee, cousin. This I shall never do again.
One farewell.
Why, let it be so. Farewell, cousin.
Farewell, sir. Knights, kinsmen, lovers, yea, my sacrifices, true worshippers of Mars, whose spirit in you expels the seeds of fear and the apprehension which still is farther off it. Go with me before the God of our profession. There require him the hearts of lions and the breath of tigers, yea, the fierceness too, yea, the speed also to go on. I mean, else wish we to be snails. You know, my prize must be dragged out of blood, force, and great fate. Must put my garland on where she sticks, the queen of flowers. Our intercession then must be to him that makes the camp. A cistern brimmed with the blood of men. Give me your aid and bend your spirits towards him. Almighty One, with thy power hast turned green Neptune into purple, comets pre-warned, whose havoc in vast fields unearthed skulls proclaim, whose breath blows down the teeming Ceres' poison, who dost pluck with hand are many potent, from forth blow clouds, the mason turrets that both both makest and breakest the stony girths of cities. With me, thy pupil, youngest follower of thy drum, instruct this day with military skill that to thy Lord, I may advance my streamer, and by thee be stilled the lord of the day. Give me, great Mars, some token of thy pleasure. Here they fall on their faces as formerly, and there is heard clanging of armor with the short thunder of the burst of the battle, whereupon they all rise and bow to the altar. O great corrector of enormous times, shaker of one rank states, thou grand decider of dusty and old titles, that hewest with blood the earth when it is sick, and cursed the world of the pleurisy of people. I do take the signs auspiciously, and in thy name, to my design, march boldly. Let us go.
Solomon and his knights with the former observance.
Our stars must glister with new fire, or be today extinct. Our argument is love, which if the goddess of it grant, she gives victory too. Then blend your spirits with mine, you whose free nobleness to make my cause your personal hazard. To the goddess Venus commend we our proceeding, and implore her power unto our party. Hail, sovereign queen of secrets, who hast power to call the fiercest tyrant from his rage and weep unto a girl, that hast the might, even with an eye glance, to choke Mars' drum and turn the alarm to whispers, that canst make a cripple flourish with his clutch and cure him before Apollo, that mayst force the king to be his subject's vassal and induce such gravity to dance. The bold bachelor, whose youth like wanton boys through bonfires have skipped thy flame, at 70 thou canst catch and make him to the scorn of his horse throat, abuse young ladies of love. What godlike power hast thou not power upon? To Phoebus thou addest flames, hotter than his, the heavenly fires did scorch his mortal son, thine him. The huntress, all moist and cold, some say, began to throw her bow away and sigh. Take to thy grace me, thy vowed soldier, who do bear thy yoke as 'twere a wreath of roses, yet is heavier than lead itself, stings more than nettles. I have never been foul-mouthed against thy law, never revealed a secret, for I knew none, would not, had I kenned all that were. I never practiced upon man's wife, nor would the libels read of liberal wits. I never at great feasts sought to betray a beauty, but have blushed at simpering sirs that did. I have been harsh to large confessors, and have hardly asked them if they had lovers. I had one, a woman, and women 'twere they wrong. I knew a man of 80 winters, this I told them, who, alas, of 14 brides, 'twas thy power that put life into dust. The aged cramp had screwed his square foot round, the gout had knit his fingers into knots, torturing convulsions from his glowy eyes had almost drawn their spheres, that what was life in him seemed torture. This anatomy had by his young fair fear a boy, and I believed it was his, for she swore it was, for who would not believe her? Brief I am to those that prate and have done, no companion to those that boast and have not, a defier to those that would and cannot, a rejoicer, yea, him I do not love, that tells close offices the foulest ways, nor names concealments in the boldest language. Such a one I am, and thou that lover never yet may sigh, truer than I. Oh, then, most soft, sweet goddess, give me the victory of this question, which is love, is true love's merit, and bless me with the sign of thy great pleasure.
Your music is heard. Doves are seen to flutter by. They fall again upon their faces, then on their knees.
O thou that from 11 to 90 reign'st in mortal bosoms, whose chase is this world, and we in herds thy game, I give thee thanks for this fair token, which being laid unto mine innocent true heart, arms in assurance my body to this business. Let us rise and bow before the goddess. Time comes on.
Exeunt, still music of records. Enter Amelia in white, her hair about her shoulder, a wheaten wreath, one in white holding up her train, her hair stuck with flowers, one before her carrying a silver hind, in which is conveying incense and sweet odors, which being set upon the altar, her maid standing aloof, she sets fire to it, then they curtsy and kneel.
Oh, sacred, shadowy, cold and constant queen, abandoner of revels made contemplative, sweet, solitary, white as chaste and pure as winter falls snow, who to thy female knights allows no more blood than will make a blush, which is their order's robe. I here thy priest am humbled for thine altar. O vouchsafe with that thy rare green eye, which never yet beheld thing masculate, look on thy virgin and sacred sweet mistress. Lends thine ear, which never heard scurril term, into whose port never entered wanton sound. To my petition seasoned with holy fear, this is my last of vestal office. I am bride habited, but maiden hearted. A husband I have pointed, but do not know him out of two. I should choose one and pray for his success, but I am guiltless of election of mine eye. Were I to lose one, they are equal precious. I could doom neither. That which perished should go to it unsentenced. Therefore, most modest queen, he of the two pretenders that best loves me and has the truest tide in it, let him take off my wheaten garland, or else grant the file and quantity I hold. I may continue in thy band.
Here the hind vanishes under the altar, and in the place ascends a rose tree, having one rose upon it.
See what our general of ebbs and flows out from the boughs of her holy altar with sacred act advances, but one rose. If well inspired, this battle shall confound both these brave knights, and I a virgin flower must grow alone, unplucked. Oh,
The son twang of instruments, and the rose falls from the tree.
oh, the flower's fallen. The tree descends. O mistress, thou here dischargest me. I shall be gathered. I think so, but I know not thine own will. Unclasp thy mystery. I hope she pleased. Her signs were gracious.
Okay, curtsy and exeunt. Scene 2, enter Dr. Jailer and wooer in the habit of Palamon.
Was this advice I told you done any good upon her?
Wooer, Anton, are you there? Come in when you can.
I am. I just couldn't hear you. You just couldn't hear me because I had my microphone off.
Oh, okay. Good.
Okay, well, here it is. Has
This
oh,
advice
very,
I told you done any good upon her?
oh, very much. The maids that kept her company have half persuaded her that I am Palamon. Within this half hour, she came smiling to me and asked me what I would eat and when I would kiss her. I told her presently and kissed her twice.
Well done. 20 times had been far better, for there the cure lies mainly.
Then she told me she would watch for me tonight, for well she knew what hour my fit would take me.
Let her do so, and when your fit comes, fit her home, and presently.
She would have me sing.
You did so?
No.
It was very ill done then. You should observe her every way.
Alas, I have no voice, sir, to confirm her that way.
Well, that's all one. If you make a noise, if she entreat again, do anything. Lie with her if she asks you.
Jailer,
Yeah.
Oh, there,
Tom,
doctor.
Tom,
If you make a noise, oh, there, doctor.
we're on
Lie
130.
with her if she asks you.
We're on
Oh, there,
130.
doctor.
Yes, in the way of a cure.
But first, by your leave, in a way of honesty.
That's but a niceness. Ne'er cast your child away for honesty. Cure her first this way, then if she will be honest, she has the path before her.
Thank you, doctor.
Pray bring her in and let's see how she is.
I will, and tell her Palamon stays for her, but doctor, methinks you are in the wrong still.
Go, your fathers are fine fools. Her honesty, and we should give her physic till we find that.
why, do you think she is not honest, sir?
How old is she?
She's 18.
She may be, but that's our one. 'Tis nothing to our purpose, where'er her father says, if you perceive her mood inclining that way that I spoke of, videlicet, the way of flesh. You have me.
Yet very well, sir.
Please her appetite and do it home. It cures her ipso facto. And the melancholy humor that infects her.
I am of your mind, doctor.
You'll find it so.
No, you'll find it. You'll. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You'll
bad.
find it so. She comes, pray her honor.
Oh, come, your love. Love, Palamon, stays you for child, and has none this long hour to visit you.
I thank him for his gentle patience. He's a kind gentleman, and I am much bound to him. Did you ne'er see the horse he gave me?
Yes,
How do you like him?
he's a very fair one.
You never saw him dance?
No,
I have often. He dances very finely, very comely, and for a jig come cut and long tail to him. He turns it like a top.
that's fine indeed.
He'll dance the Morris 20 mile an hour, and that will founder the best hobby horse, if I have any skill, in all the parish, and gallops to the turn of light of love. What think you of this horse?
Having these ventures, I think he might be brought to play at tennis.
Yes, that's nothing.
Can he write and read too?
Very fair hand, and casts himself the accounts of all his hay and provender. The hostler must rise with time that cousins him. You know the chestnut mare the Duke has?
Very well.
She is horribly in love with him, poor beast, but he is like his master, coy and scornful.
What dowry has she?
Some 200 bottles and 20 strike of oats, but he'll ne'er have her. He lisps in being able to entice a miller's mare. He'll be the death of her.
What stuff she utters!
Make curtsy. Here, your love comes.
Pretty soul, how do ye? That's a fine maid. There's a curtsy.
Yours to command the way of honesty. How far is it now to the end of the world, my masters?
Why, a day's journey, wench.
Will you go with me?
What shall we do there, wench?
Why, play at stool ball. What else? What is there else to do?
I am content if we shall keep our wedding there.
'Tis true, for there I will assure you, we shall find some blind priests for the purpose that will venture to marry us, for here they are nice and foolish. Besides, my father must be hanged tomorrow, and that would be a blot in the business. Are not you Palamon?
Do not you know me?
Yes, but you care not for me. I have nothing but this poor petticoat and 2 coarse smocks.
That's all one, I will have you.
Will you surely?
Yes, by this fair hand will I.
Well, to bed then.
Even when you will.
Oh, sir, you would fain be nibbling.
Why do you rub my kiss off?
This is a sweet one, and will perfume me finely against the wedding. Is not this your cousin Arcidi?
Yes, sweetheart, and I'm glad my cousin Palamon has made so fair a choice.
You think he'll have me?
Yes, without doubt.
You think so too?
Yes.
We shall have many children. Lord, how you are grown. My Palamon, I hope, will go too finely now he's at liberty. Lost poor chicken. He was kept down with hard meat and ill lodging. But I'll kiss him up again.
What have you done? You lose the noblest sight that ever was seen.
Are they in the field?
They are, and you bear a charge there too.
Lie away straight. I must have leaved you here.
I will go with you. I will not lose the fight.
How did you like her?
I warrant you, within these 3 or 4 days, I'll make her right again. You must not from her, but still preserve her in this way.
I will.
Let's get her in.
Come, sweet, we'll go to dinner, and then we'll play at cards.
Shall we kiss too?
100 times.
And 20?
Aye, and 20.
And then we'll sleep together.
Take her off her.
Yes, marry will we.
But you shall not hurt me.
I will not, sweet.
If you do, love, I'll cry.
Flourish, Exeunt, scene 3, enter Theseus, Hippolyta, Amelia, Pirithous, some attendants, Tucket, Curtis.
I'll step no further.
Will you lose this sight?
I'd rather see a wren hawk at a fly than this decision. Every blow that falls threats a brave life. Each stroke laments the place whereon it falls and sounds more like a bell than blade. I will stay here. It is enough my hearing shall be punished with what shall happen, against the which there is no deafing. But to hear, not taint mine eye with dread sights it may shun.
Sir, my good lord, your sister will no further.
No, she must. She shall see deeds of honor in their kind, which sometime show well penciled. Nature now shall make and act the story, the belief, both sealed with eye and ear. You must be present. You are the victor's meed, the price, the garland, to answer the question's title.
Pardon me, if I were there, I'd wink.
You must be there. This trial is as 'twere the night, and you the only star to shine.
I am extinct. There is but envy in that light which shows the one the other. Darkness which was the dam of horror, who do stand accursed of many mortal millions, may even now by casting her black mantle over both that neither could find other, get herself some part of a good name, and many a murder sets off whereof she's guilty.
You must go.
In faith, I will not.
Why, the knights must kindle their valor at your eye. Know of this war, you are the treasure, and must needs be by to give the service pay.
Sir, pardon me. The title of the kingdom may be right out of itself.
Well, then, at your pleasure, those that remain with you could wish their office to any of their enemies.
Farewell, sister. I am like to know your husband for yourself. By some small start of time, he whom the gods do of the two know best, I pray them, he made your lot.
Exeunt Theseus, Hippolyta, Pirithous, etc.
Arcetes is gently visaged, yet his eye is like an engine bent or a sharp weapon in a soft sheath. Mercy and manly courage are bedfellows in his visage. Palamon has a most menacing aspect. His brow is graved and seems to bury what it frowns on. Yet sometimes 'tis not so, but alters to the quality of his thoughts. Long time his eyes will dwell upon his object. Melancholy becomes him nobly. So does Arcetes' mirth, but Palamon's sadness is a kind of mirth, so mingled as if mirth did make him sad, and sadness merry. Those darker humors that stick unbecomingly on others, on them live in fair dwelling. Hark, how yon spurs to spirit doth incite the princes to their proof. Arcity may win me, and yet may Palamon ward Arcity to the spoiling of his figure. Oh, what pity! Enough for such a chance. If I were by, I might do hurt, for they would glance their eyes toward my seat, and in their motion might omit a ward, or forfeit an offense which craved that every time. It is much better I am not there, or better never born than minister to such harm. What is the chance?
The cries of Palamon.
Then he is won. 'Twas ever likely he looked all grace and success, and he is doubtless the primus of men. I pray thee, run and tell me how it goes.
Shout
Still Palamon.
Palamon. Still Palamon.
Run and inquire, poor servant thou hast lost. Upon my right side still I wore his picture. Palamon's on my left. Why so I know not. I had no end in it, else chance would have it so.
Another cry and shout within in cornets.
On the sinister side, the heart lies. Palamon had the best boding chance. This burst of clamor is sure the end of the combat.
Enter servant. They said that Palamon had Arcetes' body within an inch of the pyramid, that the cry was general of Palamon, but anon the assistants made a brave redemption, and the two bold titlers at this instant are hand-to-hand at it.
Were they metamorphized both into one? Oh, why? There was no woman were it so composed a man. Their single share, their noblest, peculiar to them, gives the prejudice of disparity, value, shortness.
Cornets, cry within, Arcite, Arcite.
Oh, 20 lady breathing more exulting? Palamon still?
Nay, now the sound is Arcite. Coronets, a great shout and cry, Arcite, victory!
I pray thee, lay attention to the cry. Set both thine ears to the business.
The cry is Arcity and victory! Hark, Arcity, victory! The combat's consummation is proclaimed by the wind instruments.
If sight saw that our Seti was no babe, God's lid his richness and costliness of spirit looked through him. It could be more be hid in him than fire and flax, than humble banks can go to law with waters, that draft winds forced to raging. I did think good Palamon would miscarry, yet I knew not why I should think so. Our reasons are not prophets, we're oft our fancies are. They are coming off. Alas, poor Palamon.
Coronets, enter Theseus, Hippolyta, Pirithous, Arcite Victor, and attendants, etc.
Lo, where our sister is in expectation, yet quaking and unsettled. Fairest Emily, the gods by their divine arbitrament have given you this night. He is a good one, as ever stroked head. Give me your hands. Receive you her, you him, you plighted with a love that grows as you decay.
Emily, to buy you I have lost what's dearest to me, save what is bought, and yet I purchase cheaply, as I do rate your value.
Oh, beloved sister, he speaks now as brave as knight, as e'er did spur a noble steed. Surely the gods would have him die a bachelor, lest his race would show i' the world too godlike. His behaviour so charmed me that he thought Alcides was to him so of lead. If I could praise, yet each part of him to all I have spoke, your Arcity did not lose by it, for he that was thus good encountered yet is better. I have heard two emulous Philomels bait of the night, or bait the ear of the night with their contentious throats, now one the higher, anon the other, then again the first, and by are breasted that the seance could not judge between them. So it fared, good space between these kinsmen, till heaven did make hardly one the winner, where the girlond with that joy that you have won. For the subdued give them our present justice, since I know their lives but pinch 'em, let it here be done. The scene's not for our setting, go we hence, right joyful for some sorrow, arm your prize. I know you will not lose her. Hippolyta, I see one eye of yours conceives a tear, the which it will deliver.
Flourish.
Is this winning? Oh, you heavenly powers, where is your mercy? But that your wills have said it must be so, and charged me to live to comfort this unfriended, this miserable prince that cuts away a life more worthy from him than all women. I should and would die too.
Infinite pity that four such eyes should be so fixed on one, that two must needs be blind for it.
So it is.
There's many a man alive that hath outlived the love of the people. Yea, in the selfsame state stands many a father with his child. Some comfort we have by so considering. We expire, and not without men's pity. To live still and have their good wishes, we prevent the loathsome misery of age, beguile the gout and rheum that in lag hours attend for gray approachers. We come towards the God young and unwrappered, not halting under crimes many and stale, that sure shall please the gods sooner than such to give us nectar with them, for we are no more clear spirits. My dear kinsmen, whose lives for this poor comfort are laid down, you have sold them too cheap.
What ending could be of more content? Or us the victors have fortune, whose title is as momentary as to us death is certain. A grain of honor they not o'erweigh us. Let us bid farewell, and with our patience angering tottering fortune, who at her certainest reels.
Come, who begins?
E'en he that led you to this banquet shall taste to you all. Aha, my friend, your gentle daughter gave me freedom once. You'll see it done now forever. Pray, how does she? I heard she was not well. Her kind of ill gave me some sorrow. Sir, she's well restored and to be married shortly. By my short life, I am most glad on it. 'Tis the latest thing I shall be glad of. Crubby, tell her so, commend me to her, and to peace her portion, tender her this.
Nay, let's be offerers all.
Is it a maid?
Verily, I think so, a right good creature, more to me deserving than I can quit or speak of.
All commend us to her. They give their purses. Jailer, top of 146. The god.
The gods requite you all, and make her thankful.
Adieu, and let my life be now as short as my leave taking.
Lies on the block. Lead, courageous cousin, will follow cheerfully. A great noise within, crying, save, hold, enter in haste a messenger. Hold, 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 oh, hold. Enter Prometheus in haste.
Hold, ho! It is accursed haste you made if I have done so quickly. Noble Palamon, the gods will show their glory in a life that thou art yet to lead.
Can that be when Venus I have said is false? How do things fare?
Arise, great sir, and give the tidings ear that are most early sweet and bitter.
What hath waked us from our dream?
List then. Your cousin mounted upon a steed that Emily did first bestow on him, a black one, owing not a hair worth of white, which some will say weakens his price, and many will not buy his goodness with this note. Which superstition here finds allowance. On this horse is Arcity draughting the stones of Athens, which the Colchins did rather tell than trample. For the horse would make his length a mile if it pleased his rider to put pride in him. As thus went, counting the flinty pavement, dancing as 'twere to the music his own hoofs made. For as they say, from iron came music's origin. What envious flint, cold as old Saturn, and like him possessed with fire malevolent, darted a spark, or what fierce sulphur else to this end made, I comment not. The hot horse, hot as fire, took toy at this, and fell to what disorder his powers could give will. Bounds, comes on end, forgets school doing, being therein trained, and of kind managed, pig-like, he whines at the sharp rowel, which he frets at rather than any jot obeys. Seeks all foul means of boisterous and rough jadery to disseat his lord, that kept it bravely, when not served. When neither curb would crack, girth break, nor differage plunges, disroot his rider whence he grew, but that he kept him tween his legs, on his hind hoofs on end he stands, that Arcity, legs being higher than his head, seemed with strange art to hang. His victor's wreath even then fell off his head. And presently backward the jade comes o'er, and his full poise becomes the rider's load. Yet he is living, but such a vessel 'tis that floats but for the surge that next approaches. He much desires to have some speech with you. Lo, he appears.
Enter Theseus, Hippolyta, Amelia, Arcity in a chair.
O miserable end of our alliance! The gods are mighty, Arcity. If thy heart, thy worthy manly heart, be yet unbroken, give me thy last words. I am Palamon, one that yet loves thee, dying.
Amelia, and with her all the world's joy, reach thy hand. Farewell, I have told my last hour. I was false, yet never the treacherous. Forgive me, cousin. One kiss from fair Amelia. 'Tis done. Take her. I die.
Thy brave soul seek Elysium.
Oh, close thine eyes, Prince. Blessed souls be with thee. Thou art a right good man. And while I live, this day I give to tears.
And I to honor.
In this place first you fought. Even here, very here, I sundered you. Acknowledge to the gods our thanks that you are living. His part is played, and though it were too short, he did it well. Your day is lengthened, and the blissful dew of heaven does arouse you. The powerful Venus well hath graced her altar, and given you her love. Our master Mars hath vouched his oracle, and to us Arcity give the grace of the contention. so the deities hath showed due justice. Bear this hence.
Oh, cousin, that we should things desire which do cost us the loss of our desire, that naught could buy dear love, but loss of dear love.
Never fortune did play a subtler game. The conquered triumphs, the victor hath the loss, yet in the passage the gods hath been most equal. Palamon, your kinsman hath confessed the right of the lady did lie in you. For you first saw her, and even then proclaimed your fiance. Hath he restored her as your stolen duel, and desired your spirit to send him hence forgiven. The gods, my justice, take from my hand, and they themselves become the executioners. Lead your lady off, and let your lovers from the stage of death, whom I adopt as friends, a day or two let us look sadly and give grace unto the funeral of our Psyche, in whose end the visages of bridegrooms we'll put on, and smile with Palamon, for whom an hour, but 1 hour since, I was as dearly sorry as glad of our Psyche, and now I am as glad of him as sorry. O you heavenly charmers, what things you make of us! For what we lack, we laugh; for what we have, are sorry still, are children of some kind. Let us be thankful for that which is, and which you leave dispute, that are above our question. Let's go off, and bear us like the time.
Flourish. Exeunt. Epilogue. I would now ask ye how ye like the play. But as it is with schoolboys, cannot say, I am cruel fearful, pray ye yet stay a while, and let me look upon ye. No man smile, then it goes hard, I see. He that has loved a young handsome wench, then show his face. 'Tis strange if none be here, and if he will, against his conscience, let him kiss, hiss, and kill our market. 'Tis in vain, I say, to stay ye, have it the worst can come. Now, what say ye? And yet mistake me not, I am not bold, we have so much cause. If the tale we have told, for 'tis no other, any way content ye, for that honest person it was meant ye, we have our end, and ye shall have ere long, I dare say, many a better to prolong. Your old loves to us, and to all our might, rest at your service. Gentlemen, good night. Flourish. Fini. All righty.